All right, welcome back, everybody. Ho, 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 and all that good
Welcome,
shit,
welcome,
right?
welcome. Ho, ho, fucking ho. Stay away from them. I'm telling you, they're bad for business. They're bad for business.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yep. So, no, we just on here today to kind of, just kind of bullshit, talk to some people, and just talk about, like I said, what you guys are excited for. Then, but before all that even happens, we want to kind of talk about like, some of our favorite episodes, what we got going on, all that stuff. So, Ant, you want to go first?
Sure, why the Merry Christmas not? Um, what am I supposed to talk about? What do you want me to
Whatever. What
start
was
with?
your favorite show? What was your favorite show for the entire year? Like, which
I
one
mean, damn, I'm
stood
I'm
out more to
hard
you?
pressed, man. I'm hard. That's a hard one. I obviously like the ones that I learned stuff from. They're in general my favorite, but I've also like my one with the lychees and Boris because that's just my boy, and I'm super comfortable talking about animals I know things about. I'm not gonna pick one. I like them all. I love that we finally in the past year decided to get off our asses, if you will, and do this. We talked about it for long enough. We got up and did it. So every episode is a blessing. Every guest that's come on is a blessing. Everything I've learned has been a blessing. All the species that I've gotten because of interests that have been ignited due to this podcast and people I've talked to are my favorite. Um, I met some great people. We really have. We met some great people, made some awesome connections. I feel like we've even done that for people. We've linked people up through the podcast, people we've had on that, some of our viewers have shot messages to that they now have great conversations. The relationship I built with Wally, man, from Supreme, like it's my dude. Now I talk to Wally every day. This nut job with the elf foot on his head over here, Matt, this podcast has really done some incredible things, man. And for that reason alone, I'm not going to pick one episode that's been my favorite, but instead just say that I'm grateful and honored and privileged for the whole process, altogether. Um, I'm also super happy that we get to share these passions. For a long time, I was in reptiles my whole life, and I always knew there was like a little secret society out there and whatnot, but I kind of felt alone. I felt alone. So I was never really big into social media, and I didn't realize there was so many people that make me look uncrazy, right? Like I look normal compared to some of these collections some people have with 200 animals, and that's cool. I've picked up a lot of species because of it. My horizons have been broadened due to this podcast, and things we've done and people we've met. I've taken on species that maybe a year ago I wouldn't believe, the desert species and the knobtails and some of these, the ebanawi. I always was actually kind of scared to keep them, some of the smaller stuff. And I'm grateful for it all, man. Blessed for it all, man. I got a lot of plans, a lot of plans, a lot of things in the pipeline, especially with the podcast. We're branching off this whole networking thing. The talk that we have off air about, what we're gonna do. You too, Jay. Damn, man, it's a huge blessing becoming friends with you over this, man. You're like a vertebrae in my backbone, dog. Like I could talk to you about anything that I want, man, and never get judged. My man, don't ever judge me. I could tell him about real shit I got going on in my life. Jay, don't ever bash me, man. Don't ever say you're an idiot. Don't do this, do this. He's always inspiring, man. You got this. Everything's gonna be all right. You can handle it. Just figure it out. Breathe. You got it. That's real, man. For men, we're grown ass men, man. And grown ass men typically keep shit in. We bundle it all, ball it all up until we explode and wind up getting ourselves in a jam and we take the bottom of our heel and put it to someone's neck, man, or chin or face. Well, maybe you guys don't do that, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a blessing to have an outlet, and these animals are arguably all of our outlet for whatever reason. Matt has his story. It didn't save Matt, turn Matt's life around. These animals have so much power in them, man. There's so much power in keeping reptiles as a pastime, I guess. It's this whole thing is just a blessing, man. You know, you guys could take it. I'll pick up somewhere else,
Go
man.
go ahead, Matt. What's been your favorite stuff on your show?
Yeah, like I don't know. I mean,
Here we go.
probably the one episode that really like that was real special to me. Not to say, and I echo like what Anthony said. Like all my guests and stuff. I'm super happy that people took time to just chat with this random ass dude about reptiles and our love for and passion for our our culture, our hobby. But like the one episode that really comes to mind is the one that I did with Nipper. He was
I knew you
somebody
were
in
gonna
the house.
say. I knew you
What's
were gonna
that?
say that one. Keep going. I knew that's what you were
Yeah,
gonna say.
yeah, Nipper. Like I mean, he was just such like. I mean, he's one of those guys that I've heard on NPR for like years, and he's somebody like when I set out to do this podcast, it was almost like I jokingly would say like it was just an excuse for me to get to talk to people that I didn't have an excuse to talk to, but like. And it was neat because I had reached out to Nipper like a year or a half ago. And we started talking like herping salamanders. And then like once I got him on the show, it was just really neat to really connect with him. And that was a cool show, meeting Jonathan with the New Zealand green geckos and that whole story. That was really neat. Kayla was great. I mean, Egyptian false cobras is something that I don't know. That species is just so like it's just not talked about. Like, I mean, she's really the only person I know, not just who works with them, but she's bred them like, and she's hatched that babies. She's, the babies are growing, and it's really cool to see all of these individuals go through, these like passion projects and watching them come to fruition, and then, you know, being able to like be a part of that and share that and have them come on the show and talk about it is just it's been so awesome. I've just it's been really cool. So yeah, I definitely think that the just all the shows in general, that every single one has got a chunk. Like when Lucas came on and he was talking about his Western black-headed python. That story was cool because Lucas was somebody that I had followed on social media for such a long time, and hearing him talk about these black-headed pythons, and he shared his story about cutting the eggs prematurely, and he was still able to get them to come out, and they ended up being very healthy and rocking and rolling. So I it's hard to put a particular like one highlight, but I definitely say the one episode that really really was special to me was the Nipper one for sure. How about you, Jay?
Oh man, like honestly, for me, like it's a couple of them, right? Definitely the Pterodactylus episode. That right. Well, I listen to that one probably at least once a week, just for my I mean, said I'm hell. I started building up my Pterodactylus collection now, right? Just because off of that episode, I started getting Pterodactylus. I got my Nebulosus, I got my Triatus, and I'm about to get those Zebricus. So that's like almost my number one. I said what else? Like definitely, do I love Justin's episode about the oh man the Capotes dumbara, those pygmy knuckle lizards. Like just hearing how Justin talks about them, and his passion for these agamas that people don't even know shit about, right? Like that's what I love to hear, like stuff like that, and then like the as much stuff that he puts into this hobby, like giving back to this hobby. So that was one of my top ones, and then like my like rounding out my top three is probably David Kelly. Like hearing that man talk about all like his geckos and like the snakes and everything, like even listening to him on your show, Matt, like I was like, yo, this dude like is serious about his animals. So
He flies
those are like
falcons, bro.
yeah, he's
What?
so diverse, it's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I mean those are my top three right there. I don't know. So what are some of your guys's like next year projects? Like what's some stuff that got you guys really excited for next season or next year?
Other than Operation Freedom, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Right. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I'm stoked for well, really two main things. I'm really feeling the leaf tails, right? Loving the leaf tails.
Yeah.
So obviously got my thing going on with Steph and Green Acres and the Sakura, And then my knobtails, man, I'm really, really. I mean, both of you guys are already into the Australian thing, but I'm super stoked to start exploring different continents. You know, species from different continents, and the Australian thing is going to be huge in a year to come. The knobtails, the Amy eyes, and whatever else I the levies, and whatever else I decide to get into. But I'm super stoked for them. I have huge plans on building the cages already, like all the clay tunnels and stuff I'm going to build for these desert, our terrestrial species and stuff. Super excited about that. Um,
Nice.
Even with my crested geckos, I hate to sound so generic, but I got a lot of cool things in the pipeline with the lily white gene that I've been working with. I've phased out everything other than projects that involve lily whites. um to me, I know you guys don't care about, it's, like I said, basic, but it's something I've been working on for a long time. I'm now working with, other than two, every lily white in my collection I produced. So I'm now working at this juncture, year 5 or 6 here. I'm working with 95% animals I produced. So that's huge for me. It's a huge accomplishment. There was a time where I didn't think I could afford one lily. They were 10, 11, 12 grand. Now I've got, yes, the prices have dropped, but I've done a lot of things to come up with these 4 or 5 different lines that I have in my cappuccino stuff and all that. Super stoked for that. And clearly, anyone that knows me knows I'm excited to really get into my Chihuahua season. I just paired these things up the end of what people would call this season, this last season. And yes, I hatched 3 so far, had 4 or 5 clutches. Um, that wasn't really my season. I wasn't planning on those. Those happened. They're a blessing. Awesome. I learned much faster than I thought I was going to, but my anticipations were pairing them all for 2025. So I'm super stoked to see what this Chihuahua project does. I got 7 pairs going, and maybe I'll have a couple more throughout the season. I'll wind up feeling comfortable putting a few more of these, animals together that I have just chilling solo. I just paired my Leachianuses up, so there'll be a 2025 gift, I guess you will. Um, 2025, man, is all shit. Pedal to the metal, man. I'm things are really, my dreams and my visions are really going to start unfolding in 2025 with just about everything I'm doing. It'll be more towards the end of 25, but I'll pair my Sarahs up. I should have some with my cave geckos, should be mature by the end of 2025. I got a lot going on for 2025, to be completely honest with you, man. Should be a really, really bright year. What's up with you guys?
I think for me, the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to, honestly, is going to Australia. That's going to be a big one. And then as far as like the herp collection goes, it's I don't know. I'm in a it's a torn between because none of my Australian stuff. Well, I shouldn't say that. My Diplodactylus, they're going to be breeding. The Lucasium I've already gotten eggs from, so that's going to be exciting. The fire salamanders. That's something that I breed them. So that's going to be cool to see. I got a couple new ones, or not. They're not new to my collection, but that I'm gonna, that are paired that I'm expecting larvae from this winter. So I would say the biggest thing that I'm really looking forward to, if I'd be lying if I wasn't, if I didn't say this, but it's going to be going to Australia. That's like definitely the big highlight. And then I would like to somehow figure out a trip over to Europe and be able to go see some fire salamanders in the wild as well. So, but I intend on doing quite a bit more traveling, this year, now that my personal life is finally the peak has hit, and now we're coming down, and soon we'll be in a valley, and things will be like I like it, nice and chill. So traveling is
I'm
a big
coming, man.
highlight.
I'm not playing. I'm not even remotely joking. If things go the
Let's
way they're
do it.
supposed to, like I said, with Project Freedom, bro, I'm in Australia with you, bro. Like honestly, I'm getting a boomerang and everything.
Let's
Boomerang, get a big old Bowie knife, crocodile hat. I'm out there, man. No shirt on, leather vest. I'm in the desert, bro. Gecko,
hell yeah.
catching gecko, some gnarly cowboy boots on, running down the
There you
highway, chasing little lizards at nighttime. Watch me.
Yeah, Vegemite for sure. But what about you, Jay? What's your upcoming year looking like? What's got you all jazzed up and ready to rock and roll for the new year?
Velvet.
Are you on? You're on mute.
All right. Sorry.
There you
Had loud ass dogs. Shit for me, no, it's I'll be putting together like my Stropharia Ciliaris this year or this upcoming season. So that should be cool right there. What else do I got? Of course, I got the Chihuahuas. They're still going. She already looks gravid, so I should be getting eggs pretty soon from her. Like I said, I got those Cerdodactylus nebulosus gonna get paired up probably the end of this month. The Cerdodactylus striatus will get paired up at the end of this month. So their tails are looking nice and plump. I've taken them off the heat. They're just chilling right now. I'm kind of letting them like go through a cool, dry little not a brumation, but just a little period of just drying them out, cooling them, so they know it's kind of their winter time, and then start bumping it back up probably like January, February or something, and then start getting them going. What else? And of course, I'll have like the Cerdodactylus sabricus starting in March. I'll have those. Those will be breeding as well. Already have eggs in them, so that's going to be cool. I said, the Haemophilus fasciatus, my Tanzanian velvet geckos. Those should hopefully I get some eggs from them. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, the female's nice and big. Male, he's still small, but I mean, Richie's gotten eggs from them before, so we'll see if I get some eggs. What else do I got going on? I don't know if I'm gonna breed the Pictus geckos this year. We'll see. I gotta wait for that female to grow. Like, I know they say you could breed them at 9 months, but I don't know. I might just wait. Maybe give them like a year or something. I don't know. We'll see about them.
vending this year, Jay? Talk to us about vending. Kid, you're the only one that vends out of all of us. You gonna do some more shows?
I don't know. We'll see. Like, it depends on inventory, really. That's what it all comes down to. It's because a lot of my eggs are gonna take like almost 4 months. Like a lot of like the Cerdodactylus, the Haemophilus, they take up to like 4 months before they hatch. So depends on how old they are and then when the actual shows are. Like, I know they got a new show coming up, but it's in March, and I'm like, I don't have no inventory for that one. So because they finally put one over in the West Valley after I moved to the East Valley now. So it's like, fuck.
How that goes.
Yeah, and then but eventually I'll start hitting that show circuit. Like, I just got to build up an inventory before I start doing that. I keep on selling all these fucking geckos before I can eat and don't be holding shit back. So that's what I need to learn how to do, is hold shit back. I got a bad habit of just like take them, get them while they're hot, because I was like, I need room. So
Big deal holding them back.
Yeah, because I remember I talked to Michael like a couple years before I started breeding Chihuahuas, like the Chihuahua Chamber. I was like, hey man, like, when did you sell your first one? He's like, oh, I waited like 3 years. I was like, oh shit, okay. And so, like, no, I understand it, but like, I guess if you're gonna be in the game like that, you got to do smart shit like that. Me, I'm just here just breeding shit, getting out to the public, because I want everybody to see all this different shit that I have, and show them all kinds of different geckos. Like, every time I post a picture, like especially my local groups, they're like, what is that? What is that? What is that? Then
Oh yeah.
shit to them. So
I don't know what they are half the damn time. But imagine that though. Imagine you had a show, bro, with hatchlings and everything you got. That'd be like Richie's collection on a table. Like you'd have a wild the whole show would come to your table. You'd have the whole show at your table.
Fucking flies. I wish. I mean, because what they gravitates towards. It's if it's not a
That's not
a
a thing. It depends, man.
I remember I did the show. I did the free show, and everybody was gravitating. I had a few crested geckos there, and everybody gravitated towards those. And I'm over here trying to show them, like, I had some Stropharia, I had some Ciliaris, I had Nebuliflora robustas, I had what else? Some Intermedius, and they all just went straight to the crusties. I'm like, $50 here, fine, take it. You know, it was like, come on, man, I'm trying to show you guys some different shit, and you guys keep on looking at the same shit. I was like, all right, cool.
Why do you guys think that is? Why, in all honesty, I'm curious to hear what other people think. Why do you think they crested geckos, like, why are they so popular? Like, what's
I mean, it's a combination of a bunch of different shit, right? It's like, all right, they're the ease of care. People have put all this stuff out there. Oh, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. They don't need heat, they don't need this. So lazy, like, I'm not gonna say lazy keepers, but people just like, all right, that's much more easier than getting the heat bowl, getting the UV, getting all this other parameters for all these different reptiles. And you could just, I could just put that in my room somewhere and it's gonna be fine. So that, and then you got morphs, right? You know, like I said, you guys kind of talked about it yesterday with morphs, and you know, I always tell people, just like Rob was saying, it's like morphs are it's a genetic mutation. They're genetically weaker, and so why don't you want to just have that regular wild type? But everybody likes pretty colors. That's what it is. Like, they like that gecko with a different paint job, just like a ball python. They like the ball python with the different paint jobs. That's all it is.
See, one thing we were talking about things we've learned and liked, appreciated about the podcast. One of the cool things that I've learned to appreciate is that the simplicity of some of these less known geckos. Because yes, crested geckos are easy, but you got to admit, Jay, from the things that we've learned, there's quite a few species out there that are just as easy, if not easier, to keep than crested geckos are, man. You know,
Yeah,
there's there's a lot of cool stuff, man, and I would just, I don't know, though I think about it a lot. I do. What could we do as a, people, creators, public figure, whatever the hell you want to be, like, what could we do to promote other species that would, make people think about getting them? Like, what do you have to do to get someone to be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I will do this type of gecko instead of crested geckos. Like, what can anyone, hypothetically speaking, what can anyone do to change the narrative?
I
Because it
know, it's
was
just,
leopard geckos. It was leopard geckos for a long
yeah,
time.
yep. And it's
There he
like, once
is.
you
There he
start seeing
is.
some more morphs of
It
different
took me
shit.
like 30
Overman.
minutes to get on here.
Yeah, it took me forever
My,
too.
my camera wouldn't work for me, and I'm already a little stoned, so that wasn't helping. I'm like, bro, like this is.
See, that's why I
Like,
wait until after the show.
I mean, I was trying, man. I had, I was making some pull apart cinnamon rolls, cinnamon bread.
Oh,
But it's so
like some
cold
monkey
in my
bread.
house that something like that. But my
Cinnamon rolls,
yeast
Yeah.
won't rise as fast as
Oh,
I
shit.
need it to. So I had to bring it in the reptile room where it's a little
There
warm.
you go.
So
There you
it
go.
smell like yeast in here. What's going on? What are we chatting about?
Projects for the upcoming year, man. What do you got going
Yeah,
on? What are you excited about?
it
What are
doesn't
you
even have,
working
dude,
on?
it doesn't even have to be projects. It could be whatever you're excited about, dude. Like, whatever you got going on.
Well, I've got I got a big project I am working on, the history of the reptile trade. Start releasing that
Nice.
next month probably.
That'd be dope.
As far as animals, I don't know, dude. I'm gonna get a couple more cobras, and then maybe some frims and or some liniatis. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna grab some more geckos for sure. Just depends on what happens with all these. I got all these eggs back here. See what I start hatching out.
From what? Eggs from what?
From the Ebenawis.
What kind of
The
cobra?
spear points. I've got Pallida, and I've got a Guineensis here, forest cobra and a red spitter, and then I got a bush viper back there that's just kind of like random, just here.
Yeah, I got a question for you that I was going to ask you in the chat, but I might as well ask you here. What do you think about this thing that Dylan was talking about in this new series coming out on Netflix? What's your thoughts on it, man? You're not one to hold back, man. Tell me what you think.
No, actually, a lot of stuff that listen, I don't know what's going to be said. It just depends. There's so many layers to the reptile trade, and I've been here since '88. I've literally been here since the inception of the reptile world. You know, I can tell you when Reptile Magazine started. I can tell you when the farm started opening. You know, all of that. I know, you know, who started, what year they came into Reptile Magazine, because that's like, you know, that was my thing. That's all I did. So, but I also know that there is a lot of garbage. We got a lot of garbage in the reptile community. And I mean, the animal world in general, and the more exotic the animal, it's like the worse it gets. And unfortunately, I've heard some names on there that may not be in our best interest, but you know, I don't.
Yeah.
I look, this is what I can say. This is what I can say. And this is what I've always had this thought for a long time. And that was kind of the reason I was pushing for the registration, the private registration and the insurance, because I've understood dealing with other species of animals and importation and exportation early on is that if you don't self-regulate, then they will regulate for you. And then you're not going to have anything. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with the reptile community is we're like, the mindset is very stagnant, but it's very egotistical at the same time. Because it's like, I guess it's like so I just did a podcast for Reptiles in Research. I always say that backwards. And, you know, we were talking about this. They were talking about hybridization, breeding programs and things like that, basically trying to save the reptile trade and bring more structure to it. And, you know, and obviously the same question came up. And I'm like, bro, listen.
Really?
Depending on what comes out in that documentary, we might just all need to get off of social media. Like, honestly, because here's the thing. I know a lot of people, I would say a good portion of people in the reptile community don't like me, and that's fine. I was never here for that, but if I can bring structure that can benefit everyone, it shouldn't matter whether you like me or not. Like that doesn't matter. But if we had that, we would definitely have a better chance, but at the same time, they're gonna shut it down anyway. And it really depends on what Tom and some of these other people really get on there and say. If you really know how the numbers work, so from 1940 to 1986, like it was a bad year, bad decades to be a reptile or an amphibian in the United States, let me tell you, because we were killing them left and right. You know, but they were coming in left and right too. And then somehow like 86, it just kind of captive breeding just kind of clicked. And then it stopped, but we still didn't have an abundance of information, but we still had tons of animals coming in, tons of animals dying, tons of animals going to other countries. And then in the mid 90s is kind of like when all the drama started. Now people are like getting killed and, you know, mysterious facility fires and, you know, all this craziness, you know, that doesn't really, it's, I guess a lot of our toxicity just kind of gets like overlooked. And I think in this sense, we have over $1 billion circulating in the reptile community. And it's sad that I have to say this is unfortunately, I bet that none of that money will be made to make a documentary countering this shit. Unfortunately. But when I say shit like that, or when I say certain letters, people get mad. And I'm like, bro, look, I'm not mad at you for supporting the mission. I supported the mission for a long time. You know, I just feel like you know, shit's just got to be stepped up, you know, and in order to combat things like this, you're not going to be able to do it off of asking for donations anymore, especially when we need services. You know, I'm going to be saying that until it happens, because I'm not saying anything that I know people want this stuff, and I know people are like, oh, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to no one can blacklist you. Trust me. They've been telling me this for 20 years. They were going to blacklist me. Like, you can't. I import. You can't blacklist me. If anything, I will blacklist you. If anything. But no one can blacklist anyone. So all that, like, being scared to speak out, because I talk to people all the time and I'm like, well, bro, you're just as bad as that person because you worked for them and you only said that stuff because you got mad. So think about all of that wrapped into that. I don't really know what can be said, but I know there's a lot that can be said. And every time that guy makes a documentary, it's always bad for that group of people. All right.
Hey,
What's up, John?
Hey guys, how's it going?
What's going
we'll
on?
see, man. What's up,
What's
Jonathan?
going on,
Hey
Mr.
man,
Lemons?
nice to meet you all.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you, bud.
How's it going?
It's going awesome. It's going awesome.
All right.
You can see
So
a
what-
little green maybe right behind me.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh,
ask you what
nice.
you got going on back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You
have
got those New Zealand geckos, Rain.
yes, sir.
Oh, okay, that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are nice, man.
Yeah,
Those are really
thank you.
really nice.
Yeah, I absolutely
So-
love them.
Yeah. So
He's
what you
got
got going on
cobras
for
behind
the
him.
next season?
For me,
Yeah.
yeah. So they're going to go outside in probably April, as soon as it's above 50 overnight, and then they'll spend outside until hopefully early, maybe late October, when the night drops down to about 50 again, and then they'll come back inside like I have them now. They're in the cooling phase right now. I'm not really cooling them too cold because they are juveniles, except one male that I have that is older. But my plans for next year is hopefully I've talked to my breeder, and I'm hoping to add more. I want to add more. So I'm hoping to get, we've talked a little bit, and I'm hoping to get maybe another male and a couple more pairs, hopefully. It just all depends on what he produces this year, or, well, this, they come out in about January to March-ish is when they land. So I'll know probably in the summertime, maybe early fall, what he will have sexed. And then we'll do it like we did last time.
Yeah, that's going to be how
So
it
good.
transpires over the course of the.
Going
You know,
on.
I mean, already your collection is breathtaking, so it's going to be more and more.
Yeah. So yeah, I initially when I talked to them, I told them that I would buy everything for the next 2 seasons after this initial import, and so that was what I committed to. But I just wanted to kind of we talked yesterday or the day before, and I kind of just threw it out there saying, hey, where are we at? And he goes, oh no, we're all good. We're gonna, let's just see what happens. I said, that's fine. I said, as long as long as you want to continue this relationship with me, and I said, I'm more than willing to keep going, because I want to fill my room. I love these guys so much. It's been totally a dream come true. For me personally, it's I've never had anything like them, and they are just so unique and so fun to keep. That's the thing. Like I did love other things that I worked with and I was successful with, but I felt like I was missing something. For me personally, I mean, other people love what they have, and that I'm all about that. You know what I mean? But I just felt like I was missing something. I'm at an age now where I wanted something that was going to be my forever type gecko, and these guys can live 20 something years. So that's what they're going to be, and they're going to stay with me. Unless, of course, my kids want some, then, but definitely they're obviously going to be in the mix. But everything's going to stay with me. I'll never sell to the public. I'll never, they'll never be released from me, just because for me, I love them so much. And I wanted it, like I talked on the podcast with Matt, that I want to hopefully be able to donate to the Omaha Dorley Zoo if I do produce. My kids love going there. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska. That is a dream of mine, to be able to donate a pair. I used to know some people out that way, carriers and keepers there. So that's definitely the number one goal. And then after that, my kids, if they want some, then that's fine. And if not, everybody's going to stay with me, because simply I can, where I live in Massachusetts, I can give them the natural habitat that they need. The humidity is good. It's not too hot. I'm close to the ocean, so I get a lot of that sea breeze, and we get a lot of that natural environment that they have in their natural habitat, which is constant moving air, constant humidity, and not extremely hot temperatures, even though they can get, our breeder said that, he's had 100-degree days. He just missed more. And I expect to get some of those days here where I'm from. But I already have it planned out on how I want to keep them and how I want to be able to deal with that when they are outside. And I'm going to be building enclosure that's going to have stainless steel mesh all around all their enclosures. Okay, so they'll be able to still reap the benefits of the natural sunlight, which they absolutely need to have. And then it will protect them from the mice, rats, cats, all that stuff, because that's, unfortunately, here we have a huge rat and mice issue, not particularly around my house, but it's there, so that's kind of basically what is gonna transpire here this next season for me. It's just still learning about them, still learning to how to deal with certain situations and I haven't, I'm a huge proponent of outdoor keeping. However, I've never done it, so it's going to be an interesting challenge for me and see how they react to that, because from what I hear and what I read and who I talk to, they really thrive and they really have to have that. So that's what I'm going to be able to provide here, and that's another reason why I was able to really dial in and decided to go with them, because I was able to have an environment that would be successful with them, at least as much as possible. So
Nice.
Got a plan, man. I like that. That sounds like back in the 90s, how we used to have, they don't have conversations like that. You know who you remind me of, though? It kind of makes me mad, though. You know who you remind me of? You know who Willie from Venom Central is? I don't know if you watch any of them. Because Willie's always like, yeah, I just hatched out 500 Bushmasters and I ain't selling them to nobody. Like, I'll be like, fuck you, Willie.
yeah. Well,
but I get it though. I understand it though. Because we said we were doing conservation and preservation, but like 3% of us actually have plans like that, I would think. And the most people I see doing that are actually the people in the lizard realm, the snake people. Yeah. It's so far gone with inbreeding. Like there are certain species I would love to have. I just won't even touch them. Or I took like my red spitters. I could have had those 10 times over, but I know they're so inbred. So just having 1 or 2 is okay, but I'd love to have a program, but there's no way. But with geckos and monitors, and you don't get a lot of that trash breeding that you see with the snakes and shit. So
well, and that's a valid point and a great point. But the reason why I also am a huge proponent of that is this: they only have 1 or 2 live bearing babies a season. So you're not, this is not a gecko for me to make thousands and thousands of dollars. Sure, we know what the monetary value is, and I could equally sell them for that. But for me, it's more of my passion and it's my hobby. It's what I enjoy, and it's what I want to give back to. If I can give back to the zoo, if I can give back to my kids, and then it's close friends after that. But again, I might not be successful. Heck, I might not get anything. I have 3 females right now. I might not ever get any babies. And you know what? I'm okay with that. At the end of the day, I'm totally cool with that.
I just did a podcast for Reptiles and Research. He just sent it to me. I guess they just uploaded it. But that was one of the main points I was saying. It's like, when you come into this, man, you have to be willing to win and to lose. Like, if you're not willing to do both, then you shouldn't be here. If there's certain aspects you're like, oh, I don't want to mess with that, or I don't want to do that, or then it's probably breeding any type of animal or plant, or it's probably not where you should be. You know what I mean? Because there's just certain ways, certain things that I don't know, maybe because I've been dealing with, breeding dogs and other animals, other mammals for so long. Like, I'm just like hardcore about my genetics and all that stuff and what I put out. Cause like, I don't want to sell you a dog and then it gets you killed, because I really knew it was some shit when I produced it. But I wanted to make a sale. So I sold you this dog that I told you was like, oh, it's going to do this, that, and the other. And then like somebody breaks in your house and everybody dies. And, the dog is still there, like chilling and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Unharmed. But no, I don't want to.
Yeah, and I don't have the genetic diversity to, I mean, I have 2.3. So right now, like I said, next year if I'm able to add, more to that, but I'm still, the genetic diversity is still going to be very, very limited, and that wasn't one of the reasons why I, wanted to get them. Now it's just, if it happens and it's icing on the cake, right? But this for me is my long-term commitment to the gecko that I just thought was the legendary holy grail of everything. And I'm so blessed to have them. At the end of the day, I worked hard. I did a lot of networking. I did a lot of building relationships over multiple years. I've been doing this since 2015 to be able to do this. So, when I get hit up on Facebook and Instagram and, it's great. Well, listen, there's some things that I'm just not going to share. Number one, if you want to talk about care and you want to talk about the beauty of the gecko, I'm all about it, but there's just certain things that it takes a huge amount of resources, a huge amount of time. And you're going to get kicked down. You're going to get kicked in your face. You're going to get kicked in the nuts. You're going to get kicked everywhere. But you just have to pick yourself back up and keep trying and keep talking and keep doing the thing that you're doing. And that's ultimately what I did. Just like with everybody when they're working with the species, it's, you're going to have those bad times, but it's just like you're trying to invest and get what you want. It's right. Not just mass producing and going, okay, give me 10 grand. I'm going to give you a gecko. Here you go. If you go in like that, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
Sure, definitely understand that. Hey, so we got a couple more other people in here right now. Tristan. Hey, why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself? Because you were talking about you're working with what was it? You said some like
Orange Throat
Asian
Pixie Skinks, man.
Oh, yeah.
So
what are those
Orange
all about, man?
So honestly, I'm not 100% sure myself. I'm about 95% sure. I try to go online. I try to hit up Morph Market, find out more. Nobody can tell me much. I went to a reptile show. Nobody could tell me anything. They looked at me like I had a third eyeball. They're like, "What are you talking about, dude?" But funny enough, I found them at Petco, a trio. Took them home and started finding eggs. The eggs hatched, teeny tiny little babies. They started destroying my isopods. So that's what they were eating. Yeah, just munched them up. Yeah. So kept an eye on them, kept looking at them. I'm like, this is crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, the male, Tangerine, he's about 3 inches long. He's gonna destroy him. He didn't, because they weren't about a 20-gallon long. So I thought, he might be territorial. He might beat up those babies. Nope, didn't beat them up at all. So we had them for a while, and they stayed in a little colony. It wasn't until we moved them into an enclosure, completely different enclosure, and it was bigger, that he killed the babies.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. But a little bit more about them. They're just picture a fire skink, right? Bring it down to about 3 inches. Max, okay. The male about 4.5. Black speckled back. The male has a nice orange throat. And the female's a little less color, no orange throat, a little bit smaller, but they get that nice little iridescent shine on their back under UV, like sunbeams. Not as brilliant, but still pretty. They're cute little things. You can keep them in smaller enclosures, nice little temperate forest-like terrariums. They're cool.
Okay, yeah,
cool.
So, well, actually, no. What service were you in? Because you said like this this stuff here helps you out with all that stuff that you're going through. Just like me, like I said, I was in the service as well. I was in the Navy. What were you in?
Army infantry.
Cool. Yeah. So my pops and my moms were both in the Army. So I definitely understand that that whole like, it's almost like decompression, and just helps you kind of just like get through your day. Just going here, just messing with reptiles. You got a shitty day. You come over here, you mess with your reptiles, man. And I could definitely understand that.
It's like a void filling thing, you had right your whole life like segmented, regimented for you, and then you get out and you're like, oh wait, whoa,
yeah,
this is
I
weird.
definitely understand that right there. No, because for like 4 years, you've been told this is what you do. This is what time you need to get up. This is where you need to go eat. This is what you got to know. You only got a certain amount of time to do this, and you got to be here before this time starts. And then after you get out, you're like, I don't know what the fuck to do with myself because no one's telling me what to do. So,
Oh, dude, I've been out for years and I still eat like a grunt. I just,
oh hell yeah! Like people are like, damn, you don't talk, Jason. Nah, man. Like I've been bred to be like, eat my food real quick and just put my shit away and I'm ready to go do whatever I got to go do.
my father-in-law's a Navy guy too. He was on the subs and he like puts his arm around his plate and still eats like a sailor. He's hard to quit those habits, man.
Oh, for sure. I definitely understand that one, man. So what's your plans with them for this upcoming season? Are you gonna still try to do the whole colony thing in a smaller setting, or are you gonna separate them out as soon as the babies hit?
We have a separate enclosure set up. What I want to do is I want to separate the male. So I got this tank right here set up. It's a 29-gallon long. Got some driftwood in there, some plant. The plants are dying. I'm gonna redo the plants, but I'm gonna pop him in there, and hopefully, the babies do good with the mamas. And if I can keep that going, I'm gonna start hitting up some local shops around the area. Say, hey, I got these things. They're pretty cool. They're like little Schneiders or little fire skinks, more like fire skinks in care. And like they're easy to keep. They're fun to keep. They got little personalities. You can keep them in a nice little setup. You know, that's how I'm gonna try to put them out there. If I can get the demand established, if people like them, if people want them, I want to try to start reaching out, like network, find more individuals, get more breeding going. I don't want to inbreed, man. I want to get as much variety into it as possible. Definitely. Like I got a 100-gallon long right here, dude. I got a golden tegu in there. Bernadette, she's a sweetheart. I wanted to get a tegu because like I wanted my lizard dog, but she's a golden. I was an idiot. I got a golden. She's a cat dog. Like she's a cat lizard. Shit. That's how them goldens are. They're like cats, man. They're vicious.
Oh yeah.
You gotta pet them on their own terms, man. Their own terms.
Oh yeah. Definitely. That sounds like a cat.
Like, dude, if I could get as many like 10 or more, like I want to say 3 males, the rest females. I would throw them in this 100-gallon rehome that tegu like that. I love her, but dude, I would.
Yeah, no, tegus, that's a big responsibility right there, man.
Oh, indeed. And I mean, if I couldn't get those guys, I'd keep her, but you know, I got to get my foot in the door somewhere, and these guys might be it. So
that's what's up, man. I definitely wish you luck on that, though.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. Hey, Johnny, you back again, bro? What's up, man?
How's it going? I've been doing all right.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
I tried to get in earlier. It was giving me a little bit of a hard time. But this thing doesn't like me.
Yeah, I remember this happened last time too.
Yeah, it worked when my email. It does not work through Messenger for me.
Yeah, so that's you just gotta remind me next time to send it to your emails because I sent that thing like 3 or 4 times. You're like, dude, I'm just in the background. I'm just in the background, just listening. I'm like,
I know there was so many topics. I was like, no, I want to touch in on that. Let me in.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened with Rain, but so hey, Johnny, what you got going on for next season, man? Or not even season? Like, what do you got that you're excited about, dude?
2025 is gonna be nice. I've got a lot of stuff I'm excited for. I think the most I'm excited for is the ASIOs. I'm hoping that we get some eggs out the horned lizards. That's my biggest goal at least. And then I've got the samurai yachts that I'm trying pretty hard for. That I'm collabing those with Morph Mayhem. But I've got a trio, so I'm hoping we can produce some with them. They haven't been produced in the U.S. yet, so at least if they have been, nobody wants to talk about it. So those are the 2 biggest ones. But I've got a lot of new projects for 2025. Kind of, I wouldn't really say they're new. It's just, I keep a lot of things secret. I don't talk about a lot of stuff. Not very active on social media.
Right now
I post everything.
Yeah, well, right now is the time to start telling those secrets.
Right. Well, I've got the Chronodactylus. I've got the scorpion geckos I haven't talked about.
Oh shit!
Then,
hell yeah, I like those.
I've got some of the ocellated skinks going. I'm trying to think what else I've got that I've added in. Samurai yachts are the most exciting, though, in my opinion, because there's not many people working with them other than the guy I got them from, and he got them from Europe. So when you get on Google, there's not much you can find about them other than they're in one little national park, and they're on the critically endangered list. So no one's
Shit.
reproduced them here yet.
That's
So
exciting.
shooting for that.
Yeah, definitely send me some pictures. Did you send me pictures of those? I know you started sending me some pictures of something.
Yeah, I started sending you a lot of pictures because that was going to be the easiest way for me to keep it in my memory when we got on here. The cat geckos are doing pretty good too.
Oh yeah.
And I don't get too much stuff out of mine. I know everybody says they're sassy, but mine are pretty docile.
Yeah.
So they're doing really good. The false
Nice.
chameleons are doing really good, but they're the feisty ones, if you ask me. They're the ones that always come latching out at me.
I've heard both ways with them. I've seen them get all kind of bitey, and then I've seen others that are just docile as all hell. So
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of a little bit of all of them. That's like skunk geckos. I've got some skunk geckos that you can reach in there and pick up, and that's, in my opinion, that's not something you get out of a lot of skunk geckos. Usually, they want to panic, squeal, and run from you.
yeah. Yeah, I know. I seen some. What was it? At this one shop. So my buddy, he owns a shop out here, and he has like a breeding pair of skunk geckos just chilling. Like those things just always out and about. They don't care, and they just drop eggs everywhere. Like I could come right in front of them, open the doors up, and they're just chilling. They don't bust. They don't dart out or anything. I was like, dude, do you want to sell me these real quick? Because I think I need them. But he never sells them. So
They don't go too
That's all.
crazy, like as far as like running out and all that good stuff on you. And then I've also got a trio of white-eye croc skinks that I'm hoping will start doing something. And
okay.
I've been keeping a close eye on them. Cave geckos are starting up.
Okay.
For
Nice.
me right now, I thought we was going to get a break, because I literally just turned the incubator off, not even freaking 3-4 weeks ago, and now they're already laying eggs again. We're in full blown ovulation with Leos and fat tails. Like
Damn.
everything I was going to brumate's already started ovulating again. So I was like,
Damn.
that's fun. Yeah,
Is that you
can't
think
really
it's just because
brumate
like the
that
weather has
early.
been a little bit different?
I guess like we got bipolar weather down here in North Carolina.
Yeah. Because I mean, right now I'm still like, dude, it's still like in the high 70s over here.
We went
So
so
it's
like
been-
we can go from like
Oh, man,
this
that
morning was
sounds
21
lovely.
and this evening was like 49. So
Oh goddamn! Yeah, no,
yeah,
I
you,
haven't seen.
you kind of got to
I haven't
dress for
seen
two
none of that
seasons
shit.
in one day down here.
Yeah,
But you
damn.
can find snakes all year round out here. Like you can find water snakes in December.
Oh yeah, nice. That's what's up.
So I mean, we do get pretty cold though. Right now it's
Yeah.
like I'd say it's like our cold front rolling in. So there's
Okay.
definitely some pressure change going on.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But for my Legos, it's usually like if one female starts ovulating, usually it just spreads on.
Okay, so they all just know.
Yeah,
That's what's
it's
up.
kind of I don't know. It works out for me though.
Yeah,
I'd rather have
Damn,
it like
dude.
that than have to collect eggs from them all year.
yeah, dude. It sounds like you like the jack of all trades. With
Yeah, I
all these,
love the
different
diversity.
species.
That's like, I try to I'm heavy in Leos as far as morphs and all, and I'm pretty good with the crusties as far as like morphs and options goes. But I like the
Yeah.
diversity more than I do the
Okay.
morph
That's
breeding.
what's up. That's what's up right there. So
Cool.
looks like
And
we
then
got.
let me welcome
Yeah, go ahead,
welcome
man.
Patty into the group, our
There
resident
you go.
invert keeper. Hello, Patty, how are you doing
Good. How
tonight?
are you doing? How's everybody?
Sorry
Not
about
too-
that. We weren't trying to be rude. We're trying to figure this whole thing out. I apologize. I
Yeah.
feel
It's
so
fine.
bad. Everyone's sitting around like waiting. I'm like, I can't. I apologize. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it.
No, you're good. I couldn't get in anyways because it was on Chrome, and then I'm like trying to get my password to reset things. I'm like, I'm just gonna copy the link and open it in Chrome because I don't remember the password. So
There you
I'm
go.
here late,
All right.
late to the party.
No, you're all
No,
good.
you're good. What do you what's on the menu this year for Utopia? What do you guys look forward to this year?
So I am trying to bring the Ember Bees back again, the Marielenas, because we oversold and then I had a colony crash. So they're rebreeding again. And I'm going to try to do the cherry blossoms and like the sakuras and everything. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them or seen them, but that's like all the new hype now. They're the pink ones. And I'm a girl. I love pink and purple, so I'm super stoked for those guys. So hopefully bring
My
those to the
wife
show
likes
soon.
those.
Yep. And then I was
Oh, that's
thinking,
cool.
yeah, I want to really get into crabs too. So I'm thinking like some vampire crabs because you honestly never see any at any of the shows we do. Like I'm based out of Illinois. If any of you guys know, I know Matt knows. So I want to start bringing some more crab options to all the shows locally here.
Very cool.
Mhm.
Are you guys gonna? Are you big? Are you guys vending any big shows this year or this upcoming year, Patty?
So we went really light on shows last year just because of the economy and shows weren't turning out that good for a lot of people around here. So I just kind of took a step back, worked on redoing bins, getting species to breed because obviously, species don't breed as much in the wintertime, regardless of how hot your house is. They could sense the barometric pressure and stuff. So, just playing catch up. So we're gonna try to hit it hard come spring, start doing a lot more shows and stuff. And work schedules weren't working out either. So we're gonna try to tune it in better this year and come hitting hard.
Awesome.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I've missed doing shows. It's been a long time. So
Do you do this full time or do you have a regular job as well?
this is my full-time regular job. Yeah.
Damn, you are lucky, man.
Yeah. Well, because I do it online and then I do the shows and I do wholesale and stuff. And you can probably see behind me that's some of my tortoises. Like I do box turtles and tortoises, but I don't sell them because a lot are like illegal or you need permits
Okay.
to sell. So I'm a hobbyist when it comes to the shelled people.
How long have you been
Nice.
doing this full time for? I always try to convince my wife. Like my wife will not. She respects what I do because she knows that I love my animals.
Mhm.
But she has a knack for like. You got girls are girls, right? Like she just has a different mindset. If she could just take into consideration they're not animals and objects. Like if she could just think of them as like pretty things or
Right.
like you girls just have a different way of marketing and branding. Like my wife could turn my collection into hypothetically $1 million business if I could just get this woman interested in what I do,
Right.
It's I wish you would just see like the girls. I try to tell them like, babe, like look at the girls that do this. Like they're super successful. Like
So she's not a reptile person, is what you're saying.
she likes animals. Like she'll see
So
some
she
of my geckos.
appreciates them. Yeah.
She appreciates that I appreciate them in all actuality. She like my bearded dragons. She loves my bearded dragons.
Yeah.
Like things that don't. I guess I don't even know how to explain it. Things that she looks like, or things that look like they're communicating with her. I guess like she's okay with. She doesn't like sneaky little things, like things that make fast little movements. So
Right.
like that's the complicated thing. But she likes animals in general. Yes,
Mhm.
like but
I think
I
it
got to
helps.
somehow convince her that there's like a business in this. Like you don't have to go
Right.
to, she works with handicapped kids in schools.
Mhm.
So she's like an aide of some sort. She works with like handicapped kids. So if you could like work with animals, like maybe get bit by a gecko and not a child and make money for it, like she could stay home, right? She could stay home and just mess around on the internet and take pictures of my animals all day. She could literally make a business out of it.
I
She
mean,
doesn't believe it.
Between taking pictures and being your own social media person and then trying to do the sales and the
Mhm.
shipping, it's a full-time job. I've been doing it for over 3 years now. And I haven't worked a real job since, and it's the greatest thing because I have a 10-year-old,
That's
so
awesome.
I'm home with her.
That's awesome.
And like it's funny because like honestly, like I don't know for you guys, but the last year sales have slowed down drastically. And things just went down the shitter. So like luckily my husband has a good, paying full-time job so he could carry the team. But when we first started this, I was making more on a weekend show than he made in 2 weeks, and he was severely pissed off. And he's like,
Yeah,
really?
try telling her
Yeah,
that.
he's like, ice
Try
pods,
telling her.
freaking ice pods. And he like other people, the vendors would be like, seriously, you guys made that much? And I'm like, yeah, I guess so, so it's good. But I think, honestly, it really helps when the females or males in your life who are your partners enjoy the animals too, because having a supportive
Yeah.
partner is everything. And I don't know. I don't
It's a
like
team,
hungry. I
yeah,
like scaly,
That was
You
what
go
we
to-
were
makes
about
sense,
to ask
yeah.
you, like how many animals do you have to sell or isopods are you having to sell to maintain the dwelling?
You can
do
do
that
shit
full time?
too, Johnny. Huh? You do a lot of shows yourself.
Yeah, but the shows are like what helped me the most. Online slowed down like really bad
Right.
for me.
especially with the
See?
weather.
Yeah.
The
I
shipping
see,
and the
yeah,
weather.
the wintertime, yeah, it's hard to do anything depending on where you live. I
Mhm.
see Amazon though, I started selling some Red Runners and some isopods on Amazon, but it was just too late when I started in the season.
Is it?
So,
Yeah.
like, I'm
For-
just
for me, the
waiting for the
diversity-
weather. I mean, it's like 10 degrees where I am right now.
Where
So
Where are you at?
I live in the mountains of Pennsylvania.
Okay, I'm 20 minutes
So-
off Chicago, so we're like -15. We're 40 today, so shipping's off the menu probably till January. You know, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't. It
makes it
won't.
tricky.
It won't get warm here until like April. It's always.
geez.
It's. I'm like in like I'm a mountain surrounded by mountains. Like literally,
So
when
you
you go
gotta
outside
focus
my
on-
house is.
you got to focus
Yeah,
on
there's-
dry goods.
There's
Yeah.
literally like a mile. There's a trail like a mile from my house, and then a
Mhm.
mile into that trail is bear territory. There's a mother who
wow.
always has cubs there. Like so like that's where I live. Like
Okay,
yeah, it's
I'm over
it's
here in the
deep out here.
70s.
yeah.
But
lucky-
yeah, that's when you said the 70s. I'm like, shit. I wish,
I
it
wish
was
I'd
like
be in the pool.
I wish it was 30 here right now. What are you talking about?
Break out the t-shirt. It's 30. Yeah.
But do you only go to the shows in Illinois, or do you go to like Ohio, Indiana?
I do Indiana, Wisconsin. We were always going to do Ohio, but that's like a 5.5 hour drive. And then like with lodging and stuff, that gets a little, I don't know, you know, but so
gets
yeah, like
pricey.
Wisconsin, we do like all the ones that touch around. Like I do a lot of the show me shows. I used to do the ultimate. We do some of the NARBCs if we could get in because
I've only
that long.
I've been doing this, like I said, since like '88, and I've only been to 3 reptile shows.
Really?
I've imported for years. I've supplied them for years, but I never. Yeah, and the funny thing about that is the 3 that I went to were all in the last like 3 years. Yeah, one was in Colorado, and I was it was. And then each one of them, well, except for one. I went to one when I got here looking for venomous because that's really all I do, like venomous and Europlatus. And I walked in, I paid, and it was like this tiny room, and I walked around, and there was just nothing but ball pythons and crested
Always.
geckos.
That's
And so I
everywhere.
just walked right out, like, and she looked at me, and I was like, I should ask for my money back, like, and then I just kept going, like, dude, that's crazy, like. And for me, never to have really been to any, even the one in Colorado, it was bigger, the one in Aurora, but it was still like 75-80% ball python, crested gecko, BCC,
Well, that's about every
BCI
reptile
morphs.
thing you
Like
go
that's
to.
all it was.
No surprise. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's hard
every
enough to
single one
find
right now.
turtles. Like because I love the turtles and tortoises. You barely ever see there's like one guy selling them there, so you can't find anything. So it's always snakes, and I appreciate all reptiles, but I like what I like, you know.
There you go.
Absolutely.
Hey, yo,
Yeah,
Tristan.
the
Hey.
market's horrible, and plus, you know, like it's sad because me being someone who's imported for so long, it's like when I see an animal retailing for like $8,000, and I'm like, man, that thing
Yeah.
only costs $7 right out of the
my God.
tree. Like that's crazy.
Facts.
like literally,
Hey,
like that number is not even an exaggeration. Like
Oh yeah.
you know,
I-
like
yeah,
trapping
definitely.
prices are crazy. Like, and even getting into the farm prices, it's like still not that much. It's like I had somebody try to get some Bolins over here, and so they sent me this video, and I looked, everything was legit, but the person who had them, he didn't have papers for them, and they had 22 of them. And he's like, yeah, $1,000 each. I'm like, yeah, bro, no, I'm gonna buy all of them. Don't worry. But the problem was you can't get them to the farm. Because
Right.
once you do, you're not going to have access to all of them. And then that price point is going to change. It's going to double. So, and then they might give you 2 or 3 of them, because once they get over there, it doesn't matter what happened prior to them getting over those walls. But yeah, it's crazy. Like some of the tree monitors I see, or even some of the geckos, the Europlatus that come in for like $225, they're literally wholesaling them $50-$60.
I feel like I should have a pen and paper, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I got a
Probably
random
the
question.
least
Is there any
experienced guy.
poisonous venomous snakes in Madagascar?
In Madagascar,
Yeah. Do they have any venomous snakes?
I think there might be a rear fanged. I'm not really sure. I
Oh.
think there might be I can't think of anything
the-
off.
Are the
hand.
Madagascan hogs? Aren't they rear fanged?
I think that may be the only one that I can think of that may be over there that may be potentially venomous.
Okay. Hey, yo, Tristan. So how'd you get in this hobby, man? Like you, like I'm sure you. I mean, you're pretty young, right? So how did you get in there?
Well, when I got out of the army, I was dating this girl, and we used to go to this pet store all the time. We were into fish keeping. I started building ponds like right out of the gate. As soon as I got home, I got to the house I grew up in, my mom's place. I looked at the backyard and like, this needs a pond. So I grabbed a shovel, started digging, filled it up, put fish in there. Loved it. Started doing that. Started dating this girl, and I wanted to put a pond in her yard. So we started going to this pet store where they had the fish, like great fish for great prices over here in the East Valley, over here in Phoenix. And they also had a reptile corner. So she said, "All right, let me check these out." And I walked over there with her, and she wanted a bearded dragon. I was like, okay. And then she saw a Savannah monitor, a little baby.
Oh shit.
Yep. And me being me, trying to impress her, I was like, oh, okay. So I went and grabbed a guy, and I was like, hey man, tell me about this lizard. He goes, all right, this is a monitor lizard. I'm like, okay, like Komodo dragons, all right. Cool. He says it's gonna get big, about like 3 feet. That's funny. I'll tell you why that's funny in a minute. He told me they need a big enclosure. I was like, okay, I can do this. I'm gonna be macho. This is badass. I want this. In my infantry mindset. So we got it. Took it home. I fell in love with the thing, dude. She and I broke up. I was like, okay, peace out. The only thing I want is this lizard deuce. I'm out. Took it back to my apartment. I set him up when he was a little bitty baby. I set him up in the Taj Mahal of enclosures for baby monitors. Did like all my research. I was diving into it, man. It like I said, it filled the void, and I went crazy after that. So for a while, when he got big, he got like pushing almost 5 foot big. Like when my 7-year-old and I go to visit him, because he lives at my buddy's house in an outdoor enclosure here in Arizona. Thriving, by the way, thriving. He is almost as long as she is tall. I got pictures, man. I'll send them to you later. It's wild. He's a big boy.
It's not Urban, is it?
No. It's my buddy Arturo. Yeah, he's the manager. Yeah, he's the manager over at. It's blowing my mind. I can't remember the name of the store right now. Scales and Tails. There it is. Yeah. Arturo's got him. He's a big boy, but he's a sweetheart, man. He's a sweetie. I love him to death. Like, I would trust him with both of my kids. He could free roam the apartment right now. I would not have a problem. My daughter would be picking his shed, petting him, feeding him. He's an amazing animal.
Yeah. I've always heard Savannahs are like puppy dogs, man.
You treat him right.
I tell you all the time, I was a kid, man. One of my favorite lizards, man. I feel bad because I got rid of my Savannah when I got a black throat. But my Savannah, Dracor, was like, he was the coolest, chillest dude ever, man.
I'm pushing hard to get him back, man. I'm pushing hard to get Bubba back. That's what his name is, Bubba.
I just watched Fatal Attractions with a guy in Jersey that got eaten by his monitors. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, what, bro?
He had like 5 monitors. And I literally just watched that before I got on here. He was talking about letting it roam in its house. They're going to be putting you in one of them pools.
I mean, hey, man, that's a way to go. It wouldn't be boring, at least.
That was crazy. I was like, damn.
They ain't putting me in nowhere.
You get eaten by your own. Hey, like, why not? That was some brutal stuff, though, man. That's like, who else was on there? Dean Rippa was on there when he took like 7 Bushmaster bites and like 4 of them. He's like, no, I don't want antivenom. I want to see what's gonna happen.
What?
Where is this? Where'd you see this?
Dean Rippa. Dude, Dean Rippa was. So I met him once at his Serpentarium. They used to call him the Voice. Like he was a beast. Like he had like wall-to-wall Bushmasters like back in the day, and that wasn't the first time like he had been bitten and didn't take antivenom. But if you look on like the Fatal, just look up Dean Rippa.
Like venom.
He's from North. He was in North or South Carolina. I can't remember which one. It's been a while, and I'm high as shit right now. But he, it's if you look up Dean Rippa on there, it's so crazy because he survived 7 Bushmaster bites, and then he got killed by his wife. which was on the phone with the cops. Like that was
bro.
like the craziest thing. But yeah, he was like, yeah, you know, he's like, yeah, the first he talks about like every bite. He's like, yeah, on the third one, he was like, you know, I opted out. Well, he says even on the first one, he's like, yeah, the first one in hindsight, I wouldn't have taken antivenom if now that I think about it, because I had been hitting harder than that before by different
2020.
species, and I didn't take antivenom, you know.
Mm.
So he goes through like every bite, and he's like, yeah, but the last one, he's like, I knew if I didn't take antivenom, like that was it for me. But so that's crazy to survive all those snake bites and then to get shot by your wife on the phone with the cops.
You're lying. It's like some Chris Kyle shit, man. Damn.
Like, that's wild.
Rain, have you ever been tagged by any of your stuff or no?
No, I've had a dry bite in the field, but never in here. I've never even had a close call. Like,
oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't. So with me, with my anything that's hot or regardless, like I treat everything like I'm very hands off. Like with my animals, like I don't really handle them that much. And this guy, when I first got him, he was so bad. Like, I mean, I've had some bad cobras, but he was so bad and he's so big that I really thought I was going to have to get rid of him. And I didn't want to. I'm glad that I didn't. He's calmed down a lot, but that first year was tough. Like, go ahead.
What were like the like when you say like he was big and bad and everything, was he just like constantly like hooding up at you like when you come in the room and stuff, or like
yeah, he wouldn't eat in front of me. Like every time I'd come in here, like he would hood up, mouth open. I mean, in Forest Cobra fashion.
Yeah.
But I didn't have his cage totally finished. Like it is now, like everything was in there, but I hadn't like set everything up on the walls and, you know, done all that stuff in there. So it was a lot easier for me to deal with him. And that was one of the reasons it took me so long to do it, because now like it's almost fucking impossible for me to get him out of there. Like, because he doesn't come out of the trees. So I've learned a lot more about his personality, but when I do need to get him out, it's such a hassle. It's the worst, because he's almost 10 foot long.
Oh shit!
You know, he's a big snake, and he weighs at least 20 pounds. Like he's big, he's heavy.
Oh, that's cool.
He'll wear you out. You know, like he got out once when I was back home in DC, but he can't get out of this room. But I usually have like tents set up in here for like mushrooms and all different kind of other shit that I grow. And he got into one of my vents. And so when I came back, I'm looking around, I'm checking everything. And then I'm looking in his hide, because like I said, it was a totally different setup, and I don't see him in there. And I'm like, what? And so then I look at the thing and it's kind of pushed out. And so I open the door, I unlock it, I open it, and he's not in there. And it's so crazy how that happened, is because the measurements were off on, I bought a, what is that thing called? Tape measurer. That's how high I am. I can't even think. Tape measurer. And then I lost it, right? So I had to go buy a different one. But the inches were not the same. So as I was building the enclosure, like it was offset. So I knew that, and I knew I had to fix it, but I just didn't have time. So when I came back, he was like hiding in the aluminum tube from my tent, and I kicked it. I didn't even know he was in there. And I was like, fuck, he's in here. Like he can't see me. I can't see him. So I had to like dump him out, and he comes out, and he can stand up pretty tall, at least like 3.5 foot. I mean, his hood is like as wide as my hand, mouth open. Now he's not so bad. I don't have too many. It's just, he just doesn't like to come out. They never want to come out. And then when they're out, they never want to go back in. So yeah, that's what I got to do. Sometimes he'll just go in the closet, and then I'll just close it while he's in there, and then I'll do my thing if I can't get him in his bin. But then I got this spitter up here who, she doesn't bite, but she just loves to spit. Ugh. So, and it's, as much as I love them, it sucks, but it's just something you got to deal with. But no, I haven't. I've only been bitten in the field once, and it was a dry bite.
And that was a rattler?
No, it was a copperhead. Copperhead? Yeah, it was. I was working as a camp counselor at the school in Maryland, where it was so stupid. I got in so much trouble for doing this shit. Like, we were in the canoes, like the place where we were at had its own pond that ran through. So I'm in there with my kids, right, canoed out, and I just see this snake break water. I don't know if it's a copperhead or a water snake. I don't even care. Like, that's just how snake crazy I was. Like, I'm like, 17, 18 at the time. And so there's 2 kids in my canoe. I literally just jump out of my canoe, left them in there to go and grab this snake, like knee deep in water. And it comes out, and it's so funny. Like, I wish I had the yearbook, because someone's mom just happened to be there taking pictures and took a picture like as it was turning to bite me in the stomach. And it went in the yearbook. So and yeah, it was so crazy, but it was a dry bite, luckily. They rushed me to the hospital, and it's like 2 hours later. They're like, "No, I think you're good. Like, think it was a dry bite. You were lucky. You might have." The doctors were messing with me. Like, man, we might have had to remove your whole stomach. I'm like, nah, dude, it's a copperhead. It ain't gonna be that bad. I'm not stupid.
Right.
But no, that's it. That is now. I've been almost killed a couple times, but never like putting my hand down on a rock, but never like actually bitten. Like when I was in Borneo, I almost died. From when they wanted to stop to smoke cigarettes, and I put my hand on the rock and then turned around. I forget what kind of viper it was, and they're like, "Don't move." And I'm like, I look over, and it's just right by my hand. I'm like, God, just my luck.
Oh shit, that's crazy.
But I took a black widow bite. Black widow bite right to the belly button while I was in the army. Like, out of all the things that could have killed me, I took a black widow bite to the belly button out in the field. We were out doing some training, and I took one right to the belly button. You know what my medic gave me? A cigarette while we were waiting for the Humvee to come and pick me up.
That sounds like
I was so lucky, though. I was so lucky. I spent 2 days in the hospital, and the doctors were like, "Yeah, it was a dry bite, but we're going to keep you here." I'm like, "Okay, what? Okay." All right. Yeah, no, that scared the shit out of me, though.
Hey, yo, Johnny, talk about these those pictures that you sent me, right? The gecko with the orange tail. So I remember seeing those on Morph Market, right?
Correct.
Can you tell me a little bit about those?
That's the samurai yacht, the one that's with the stripe on the back. That's the samurai yacht. So they're real small. They're like morning gecko size.
Yeah. So you got those from Morph Market, right?
Yeah, I got them off of Morph Market.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think I got them from Nuts Hurt.
Yep. Because I remember me and Matt were talking about those before.
I just was like, no one's working with them. And I like the diversity.
Exactly.
I like having stuff nobody else has.
Yeah, can you kind of tell us a little bit about those? Because like I said, those piqued my interest right when I first saw them. But I was like, all right, do I get that, or do I go this other route? And I end up going the other route.
So from what I've been able to figure out, so their name kind of literally derives from the national park, because that's the only place you can find them. And their climates down there, like, they're cold. The coldest that it supposedly gets in the little national park's like 73 for their cold end. So I've got them replicating that right now. And then I'm going to heat them up to about 82, 83 degrees slowly and try to see if that'll stimulate some egg laying. They're listed critically endangered. They're not CITES or nothing yet, though, But there's not enough people that's working with them for, I think, to really gather the attention for it to be moved or nothing like that.
Oh, no. Yeah, I've seen like the hatchlings
on parks and everything and doing their typical shit, then we'll probably deal with it.
Yeah, I love the colors though. Like right when they hatch too, that orange is so bright, it's crazy.
Yeah, they're really colorful.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be fun.
Leave it.
They're samurai yacht leaf-toed geckos.
Yeah, there you go. So Patty, let's talk about some isopods here. Like, I'm horrible at isopods, so anything that you say, I pretty much will learn about them. I just picked up some big fat orange ones. I don't even know what they are. I just got them from Josh's Frogs at the last show because I was like, oh, I just need some more isopods because the other ones, I forgot about them. I have a bad habit of that. Like,
I got
a bad habit of that. I remember I left my roaches for like almost a year. Forgot I even had roaches. And they were still kicking in. I'm like, damn, y'all still? Yeah, I was like, those things can survive a nuclear blast.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
So do they look like dairy cows, or they might be Lavis orange? Maybe no.
Oh yeah, I think they're the Lavis oranges.
Yeah, powder oranges. You got the regular
powder orange. That's
no,
usually
these are
typical. They're fatter.
No,
right?
these are like No, these are much bigger.
Powder oranges get big.
Okay, yeah, those are the Lavis. So that's basically like the orange dairy cow, more or less. You know, those are really
Okay.
cool. I have those, and those are nice. That's a good cleanup crew. You
Yeah.
keep them for a pet or a cleanup crew?
I have
I
no
got
clue
some
yet.
from my
Haven't
They're just
backyard.
decided.
here.
Yeah,
They're
the
just here
wild
right
ones
now.
are always cool. Yeah, I got a wild colony still going.
Have you ever
I
got
used to
any
do
like
that, too.
mutations? I got a mutation
Yes.
recently. I've
We
got
got
like what did you get?
I got a pied one, and
That's
it was
what I
proving
got.
out. It was
Yeah,
proving out
that's
for
what
a
I
while,
got.
and then they all crashed. So I don't know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
and-
got too recently. I
Nice.
just it was in a because I took like 40 of them and I have like a
Mhm.
few hundred now, but I had them in like 5 different bins. So I took
Yeah.
that one out of the bin and put it with the bigger colony just to see if
That's
it
cool.
would prove out.
Yeah, there's like giant canyons. They're normally like that brownish, slightly bluish
Leave
color.
it.
So then they have the orange ones came out, the rust orange, whatever you want to call them. I got some proving out to be white. So I got to see what's going to happen with that. I haven't seen anything with that lately. So, you know, fingers crossed something cool happens with the white giant canyons because that would be pretty awesome. I haven't seen anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How big
So-
do those actually get? Well, how big is giant? What constitutes as a giant?
It's like a little bit under an inch. You know, I'm
Really?
not gonna
That's
go
a
in
big
the other room.
isopod.
I mean, they're like a dairy cow. They're a little thicker though, so it depends. They're smaller than Hoffman Segai though.
Okay, that's cool. Dang.
Yeah.
So what do people normally ask you for? Like, so when someone's getting into isopods, what do you usually first recommend to them?
I always ask what they're keeping it with and like what kind of bedding they have first and their humidity. Because some
Okay.
things are going to tolerate more arid, some things are going to tolerate more humid. So we start there. But most people who come, it's always they want the basics: powder blue, powder orange, dairy cows, because that's what they hear of. And there's like, you know, tens of thousands of species out there. And I have about 180, but people like to stick with what they hear about. And, you know, everybody loves rubber duckies always, even though the majority of people don't know what they're doing with them. So you kind of just try
I'll
to,
be there too.
you got to hope for the best. Give them the education you can and tell them to reach out to you afterwards, you know?
Do you know? Is anybody? I'm just curious. Is anybody working with those like marine isopods? Like, are those like something that are like? Are those just zoo things or like aquarium? You know what I mean? Like
I
the
think
big
it's
ass-
more
Marine
just,
and real marine
yeah, I haven't seen
isopods.
anybody working with that. I think it's
Yeah,
just,
because I've seen them more and more now, like at like zoos and stuff, where people are like, oh, look at this, and it's this big ass marine isopod. But like, I just didn't know if like what those things are or whatever. But man, they're big as shit though. They're so
Yeah.
cute.
They really get that big? I always thought that was fake when I see them online. I'm like, that's some AI shit.
yeah, I've never
They
seen,
really get that big?
I've never
I
seen
mean,
one in person.
I'm pretty sure they
Surprised
got
it's
them
a
on
lobster.
video when they first
I've seen them
rediscovered them.
online.
Pretty
It's
sure it
this
was
big.
packing a
It's
shark.
bigger than a
Okay.
lobster. Like a lobster size.
Right.
There's a video of them dropping an alligator corpse down into a trench. Or like not, I don't think it was a trench, but down deep. They dropped it down deep onto the seafloor, and these isopods come up and start eating it.
I believe it.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude, I'm serious.
I gotta find it now.
You got to show
There's-
that video.
There's
I'm
one
I'm pretty
that-
sure they're
the-
eating those isopods too. Like
Of
somebody,
course.
I'm pretty sure in China somewhere I saw something
Japan.
online they were eating them. Or yeah,
Japan.
somewhere over
Mhm.
there they were eating them.
I've seen a lot of those clips, like the one guy, the Extreme Foods, and they were like cooking it up and putting it in the rice and all the seasonings. I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Well,
the world's
it's probably
what is it,
delicious.
the world's best food review. That's my show. I like that show.
Yeah, but those isopods are a little weird because there's that video that kind of like he's talking about, but they got them in the cage down there, and the sharks are in there eating on whatever's in that cage, and the isopod comes in and just rolls that shark.
Mhm.
Oh
So-
shit!
Fucking isopods.
He made it a
Right.
snack, bro. It's insane. Giant bug just snatching a shark. He nails it and just starts eating
Yeah.
him alive.
Yeah,
And
I think
the
they're
thing about-
isopods
Send me
are
the
a little
link to
different
that. I need to
than
see this.
they got 4 mouth parts, right? And each mouth part's a razor blade. All right, a
Mhm.
buzzsaw. She knows what I'm talking about. She's the expert. Ask her about their mouths, man. They're nuts. They're nuts. It's scary.
Wow, it's above the water. Oof. Wow.
Yeah, they don't mess around when they're eating. Like, I'll put in like a dry fish and it's bones fast, especially like the
Really?
protein hungry ones. Yeah.
I had a stillborn gecko the other day, and I took it and I put it in my isopod thing to see what would happen. I came back; it was insane. It looked like something out of a horror movie. The only thing that was left was like the head, and everything else was picked down to the bone. It looked like something out of a cartoon.
Oh, geez.
Like, it was so crazy. They ate everything except for the little tiny hair-like bones on this gecko. It was
Wow.
insane.
Yeah, we had a
I'll give them a
salamander,
giant kid.
and the salamander passed away, and we didn't know about it. And then I check on it because there was dairy cows and milkbacks in there. I just had a corpse. I had a skeleton. That was it. I was like, all right, you guys, we're hungry.
I've done that with the mouse in Giant Canyon. It was nuts.
Really?
Just stripped it down to nothing. Like flesh
Really?
was crazy. It was just
Huh.
crazy to watch.
That's nuts. Fucking mouse. That's a big meal.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, Rain, are you still trying to do that move and do that bed and breakfast?
That's still on the table. I just gotta, dude, sit down, or I'm gonna kick you out.
I know what you're going through.
Man.
So, what's everybody's like kind of like dream animal? Like, does anybody have something that they really like almost would give up whatever they're working with now to have, or does everybody kind of accomplish that with what they're keeping now?
I mean, I got stuff I want to add, but I ain't gonna give nothing up for it. I like all my reptiles, but I would
Yeah.
definitely take some elegance if somebody had some, want to get rid of it.
I love beaded lizards, man, but I'm not giving up everything I got. I'm not giving all my chihuahuas up for no beaded lizard, but
Dude, if someone walked up to me and said, hey, now don't get me wrong, so I'm gonna get some flack for this, I know it, but if someone walked up to me and said, hey, I will give you a facility, I will give you funds, and I will give you a crocodile monitor pair, I'd do it.
Croc
I'd do
monitor?
it. Oh, I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd bring all my buddies into it. Yep, I'd do it in a heartbeat.
I'd agree with that one. Yeah, to have a facility. So, I mean, I've outgrown my space so long ago. So to have
I would need the setup, man. The setup.
Yeah.
They would be in the Taj Mahal, like multi-level. They get like I would almost put them in an atrium, man. I would put
probably
them in
can't be need ones. Yeah.
like I would put them in a huge atrium. I'd have trees going in there, like all kinds of stuff. It would be nuts.
Have you guys seen the newest invasive species in Florida now? I watched the whole thing this morning on the Nile monitors all over Florida. They got breeding Nile monitors. They're legit, officially breeding, laying eggs. They're there
I
now.
watched that
They're
last night.
Oh,
Or
yeah,
early
see?
this morning or last night, I watched the
I was
same
telling my
thing.
buddy
I saw
Phil from Knobtail, from Snakes and Stogies. I was telling him, I'm like, bro, I keep watching these YouTube videos about them catching Niles down in Florida. He's like, nah, you know how people do it. They're just doing voiceovers of lizards in Asia. I don't believe it. I live here. I don't see them. Now I know that it's real. Like I watched a guy and his dog chasing them and catching them and digging up nests of eggs. Like, now I know they're in Florida.
What doesn't live in Florida at this point?
Me.
Right?
I would in a heartbeat too. My wife will go. She's just, her family is in like Port St. Lucie. I want to go to like South Florida where all the wild shit lives. She's not having it. But it's all about compromise, right? Like, we'll get there. Just tell her we're a little closer to her family than we are.
See, I think my girlfriend's more worried about the wild people and the wild weather. That's what I'm worried about. Like,
I started watching this show called It's Florida, man. Like yo, has anybody watched that show?
No.
Oh man, like literally, like, the first episode is about this dude saying that he wants to go to some concert or something like that, like following some DJ around, and he hops on Craigslist talking about, yeah, I just did this, saying whether I'm willing to do anything with for money within reason. This dude hits him up saying, I want you to cut off my toes, saute them things, and eat them in front of me. Like, this was a real ass story, like only in Florida.
Did he do it?
No, he did it. Like, the dude pretty much bitched out and it's like, no, I can't do this. I'm a karate teacher. My kid's gonna be looking at me funny and shit like that. So
Yeah, you better be
like
glad.
The
Right.
stranger, the idea of doing it, or him actually entertaining the idea of doing it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you, that's that Florida shit.
Hey, I'll keep my ass right here in Connecticut. Then people are talking about eating toast.
Sorry, I got a question about that Florida stuff though. What you know about them cobras down there, Rain?
I was about to ask that.
You know
too.
what's
Florida?
You know what's so funny? Somebody used an insert from a podcast I did for their channel. It got a few 100,000 views from the Animals at Home podcast where I was talking about the cobras that have been talked about down there for decades.
Yeah.
And so someone sent it to me. They're like, "Oh, bro, I thought it was you." I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" They're like, "Oh, I thought that's not you." I was like, "It is, but this isn't like my podcast." I was like, I don't know who this is, but I
There's
hear
cobras in Florida?
that I mean, I've heard it for a while I mean, I know that they caught at least a dozen king cobras down there.
Really?
I heard there
Oh,
was a
shit.
shooting population down there. And
But
guess
that's
they
what I
do?
said. Right.
Yes,
That was
they-
the insert that I said. And I was talking about that. And but
Definitely
dude, they
don't tell
just
my wife this.
no, dude, Florida, dude, it's like, what is it? It's like up to like almost 200 species now, almost something
Yeah.
like that.
No.
Yeah,
That we-
that we know of.
Yeah,
Because
no,
they just
yeah, there you
they
go.
just said something else about
the nose are out there, dude.
about anacondas, and I'm like, dude, this is my thing, bro. Like chameleons, Burmese, all that stuff. Dude, why? You should just have to, if you want that shit, you should just have to go down to Florida and get it, like out of the
Right.
wild. Like you shouldn't. We don't need to be breeding
Let me be honest
veiled
with you.
chameleons anymore when you can go and cherry pick them off the trees down there.
That
like
would
by the
Parrots,
dozens.
parrots, monkeys.
Yeah,
freaking,
that's what I saw. I saw a video of a troop of monkeys that lives in Florida,
I've seen them
like
myself.
in an
I've seen
abandoned
them
like
myself.
car park, like, and they
I've seen
just
them
there's
my
like
own
10
two
of
eyes.
them.
I've seen them with my own two eyes. Yeah. That
That's
was
like we're-
2010, 11, 9 or 10. 2009, 2010. I've seen them myself. Whole troop of monkeys, man. Dead serious.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, what's it? Texas? Texas is no better.
Really?
You know, you see all type of all type of stuff down there. Zebras, I should say, running around down there. Just all types of crazy shit, because that was another main port for importation besides Florida. Because it's Richmond, Texas. It's Richmond, Houston. I think it's Miami, and then New York, and then Chicago, and then Los Angeles. Those are the ports where you can do importation. So Texas is because it used to be like Ohio used to be like that. I think Oklahoma at one point was like real laxed on the laws. Like, dude, Ohio was so bad that like there would be like a tiger loose in downtown Cincinnati, and they would call the zoo and be like, "You guys got a tiger loose?" And they'd be like, "I don't know, let us check." And they'd be like, "No, it ain't ours."
Right.
just like some thug motherfuckers in over the Rhine got tigers, just like the dude in New York and what was that in Brooklyn or the Bronx had those tigers in his apartment.
Tiger and the alligator.
Like, up until 2013, like Ohio and a couple other places, it was whatever. And then that guy killed himself. I think it was in like Germantown or Miamisburg.
Yeah.
And then,
he
let
like let them all go.
he let all that stuff go. That was
I
where
watched
the
a documentary on that.
the
watched
first
it,
venomous
man.
snake I ever got to like own that I bought was in Ohio. Like that's the first high. That was like 15 years ago. But yeah, it back then where you could do whatever. It didn't matter. People had bears. Like I remember one guy, I at that point I had never seen a baby Komodo dragon, but he's like, yeah, I didn't even know whether to believe him or not, because it was just so much stuff happening in that state. Like, dude, it was crazy. There were so many sanctuaries that were taking on so many animals because people were just getting them. Like, I remember I went and bought a bobcat for $500 from this lady in Claremont County, Ohio. Yeah, in Claremont County, $500. And when I went there, dude, this lady had lions. She was like, yeah. I was like, how much for the lion? Like, I didn't see an ad for that. She's like, yeah, you need a she's like, yeah, you need a USDA permit. And like, I was young. I hadn't even started importing yet. So I stayed, dude, I asked her 2 or 3 hours worth of questions before I left with that cat. And then one of my sisters, who's just a jerk, told my people that wasn't a regular cat. So I had to give it back, and I couldn't even get my money back. So
in high school, my buddy, true story, my buddy Dave, we were in high school, drove out to Ohio or Iowa or something like that and bought a lynx. For my whole high school and all the way until he went to college, he had a lynx. No bullshit, man. Real deal lynx. Was the same size of his dog. He used to take it outside in his backyard and take the basketball, and he'd bounce. You know, he could take the basketball and bounce off the ground and like hit the backboard with it. The cat would jump up and rest on the little freaking platform behind the backboard.
Oh yeah, they got
and I'm telling you, like it was nothing. Like it was nothing. It looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. This cat would boom, boom, and hit the backboard and just sit there and look at you. And when I tell you there's no more terrifying look than these eyes staring at you, it's like he did some messed up stuff. He took it to the vet. They took his front claws out. It still had its back claws, but they took his front claws out.
Yeah, no, that's messed
and when
up,
he would smack you, like just playing around, it felt like a grown man smacking you in the leg, man. Like it was I'll never, ever, ever forget this. He doesn't have them anymore. We donated him to some sanctuary somewhere, and I think maybe even Arizona. But 5-6 years of my life, man, my right-hand boy had a lynx, man, real deal. Went out there, no license, no nothing. Drove to Iowa or Ohio, paid $1,200 and came home with a lynx.
Yeah, you get on, what is it? exoticanimalsforsale.net, man. You can still find just about anything you want on there. Grissom,
we probably shouldn't tell
wolf
people
hybrids. Like, I mean, but yeah, no, that it's funny you said that, because now now I tried to, because I love bobcats, and when I moved from Colorado to here, there was a person in Ohio that still bred them. I didn't know him, but I hit him up as soon as he found out I was black. He told me, he was like, yeah, I don't sell to black people. That ain't the word that he used, but I was like, damn, like I'm half white. Will that work? Like, sell to my white side then. Like, damn, come on, man. But yeah, he told me flat out, like, he was like, yeah, no, I'm not. He said, I said, damn, that's messed up, man. That's all right. But yeah, he's like, it's like $500 to $750. But yeah, you get on that website, bro, they got everything you can think of on there, like just for ridiculous amounts of money all the way down. You're like, man, damn, I didn't realize they weren't even that expensive type of shit.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys hear that story about the compound that Escobar had down in, I think it's Colombia, where he had like hippos, and then like after he went
the ones that got out.
Yeah, now they're like,
they've
been an established population in Colombia of like wild hippos now down there.
They're trying to sterilize them. They're trying to do.
They
like
say
some type
those
of
parrots.
sterilization.
They say those parrots in California were his too. The ones that are, I think they're somewhere in Southern California.
Yeah,
there's some type of species of parrot down there. They said they were coming through when they were. I mean, there were so many animals getting involved with the smuggling of drugs, man. Like I remember they found those boas. There was like 600 or 700 boas, and they all had cocaine stuffed in their cloaca, because it was crazy. So animals have definitely been mules for sure.
Yeah.
And always involved in that's when you were talking about that documentary. Yeah, it's like it's no telling what can be said, because it's like, man, I've talked to these two guys about some stuff that if I said some things, like people would be like, wow. A lot of people would be like, I kind of thought that's what happened, but I wasn't for sure.
Yeah, for the 3 people that just joined, so Patty, Crisco, and Tristan, what's y'all thoughts on that though? On that new documentary that's about to come out?
It's gonna be some bullshit. It'll come back and bite us in the ass, just like all their other dumb decisions.
Just curious to see what it's all gonna be said.
Funny how everybody knows about this stuff. Everybody, word spread fast.
Yeah, like I said, you would think that somebody would be trying to put something together, like damn, you're not just gonna downplay us like that. But any time, but no one ever does it or says anything until it's like at the end. Like, nah,
Well,
bro,
from
we
what I
we should have.
understand, they got
You
Jeff
understand,
going
right?
on there to talk about his
Yeah,
podcast. Like,
they
so
said Jeff,
you just tell me how that's
Tyler,
gonna go. You see how educated
Tom.
you are.
I don't know who else, and I don't know how many episodes it's going to be, but I mean, there's a lot of characters that can be. I mean, I don't know how much people really anyone knows about the history until I really talk to them, like really offline, because before Phil took over US Art, when Andrew was there, that was a problem for a lot of people. But a lot of people don't even know who Andrew Wyatt is, and so I'm like, but yeah, so that was a big thing that we had to deal with in the community, things that were said and allegations, and then Operation Chameleon. Has anyone seen the Tom Crutchfield Locked Up Abroad episode?
No.
Not yet.
Yeah, you should. I mean, it's been on for a while. I think I tell people all the time, like, yeah, it's messed up, man. Tom owed me like $300 from that.
Or if you ever
Funny
read the
thing
book
is,
Lizard King,
I didn't
it's
know it
got
was
a lot
about
of
him
them
when I saw
documented
it.
on there.
I didn't know it was
But,
about him when I saw it until a long time later, but I saw it.
Yeah. No, I
Have you
mean,
read
it was.
the Lizard King?
Yeah, that there's another book called Dragon Traders. There's a couple books out, and like I said, just from what I've seen in my own experiences, going overseas, especially in Indonesia and being over there, South America, like you see a lot of crazy stuff, and there's a lot of stuff that happens that people don't even realize. Like people get killed for us to have these animals. Like, and I'm not just talking about us, but people get displaced, and like it's crazy, dude. The animal world is nuts.
Do they
It's
not though
always
for
been like that.
diamonds? Do they not for oil? Do they not for
Yeah,
all
for
of these other
everything. Like
things? I mean,
it's a luxury item. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I
It's
just
a
feel like once
high
they
end
bring the
luxury
attention to
item.
it, though, with that documentary, I feel like legislation is going to be far behind on trying to fuck with it. Hopefully, I'm wrong.
We'll see. We'll see what they do. I mean, the problem is, it's like there's so much division in the community, man. That's the problem. It's like we really are not banded together. Even Chandler, they were just talking about that on a round table that they did. Like, bro, it's so fake in the community. Like, you do have some good people there, but there's a lot of people, man. Like, I hear so many stories. I'm like, well, that's crazy, bro. That he sent someone a Nido positive animal on purpose. Like, you have so much stuff that you have to worry about. But like, even stuff like that is like, I think as a whole, man, we got to start just testing and better treating our animals. Like I just did that video for the dewormer, because like everyone is so stuck on Panacure, and I'm like, Panacure is great, but it only treats one worm. Like here, I've been using this one, it treats 5, and it has the same shit that Panacure has, and it goes further. Like, we should already be on that. Like, I feel like I shouldn't have to make a video about that, like this late in the game.
There's a lot of gatekeeping.
Right. No, for sure. And that's crazy, because that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't even help the
wins.
gatekeepers. It doesn't even help them, because when you go and you see who the gatekeepers really are, and you see how they keep their things, if the USDA, who already wants to get involved, they're not going to go for you keeping snakes and racks with no lights. And who's going to have which one of those big commercial facilities is going to have the money or going to be willing to spend it to flip their entire facility?
Right. None of them are. Honestly.
None of them.
Right.
It's all come down to it's the money issue. Like if you're a person that keeps a lot of different things, like you're a quantity keeper, like some people like to say. I don't like to say that, but I have a lot of stuff myself. You really have to focus on making your enclosure look good, in my opinion. If someone walks in, sees your collection, sees you have a lot of animals, but they see your enclosures look good, you keep them clean, your animals are happy, healthy, they're probably not going to walk away from that experience negatively. They're going to look at what you got and say, hey, like that's cool, that's beautiful.
Right.
Like I had people in my place doing some place the other day, looking at all the stuff that I have, and they're like, whoa, dude, that's beautiful. That's really awesome that you have. And they walked away. I call you later. I might have some questions. I think my kid might like this. It was cool. And I think if more people in the hobby are willing to push towards the pretty enclosures at least, and try to make the effort to say, hey, I'm doing the best I can. Not everybody can get 100-gallon enclosure, put all kinds of plants in, have UV lights, UV, and a heat lamp, like the works. That costs money, man. Times are
I
hard.
mean, for me, it depends on the species, really. Like,
Oh yeah, for sure.
certain animals have always been bred in racks, and I mean, it's always going to be a bias of opinions, but I'm going to go what gives me the most for what I'm trying to get out of them. So, like with leopard geckos, you're going to get more. I get more production out of my rack system than I do a pink system. But you go to cat geckos, and you can't do cat geckos in a rack system. You're going to have to go get your bioactive.
So we got a question in the chat real quick. And then so everybody can answer this one. So do you think this comes from Bobby of Gecko Cove. So do you think there are better pockets species of the hobby, or are they all equally some high school drama shit?
I mean, I think it really depends on who comments on it. Some people are just full of drama, and some people will rock with whatever you're doing. The problem is everybody's opinionated, but opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one.
Boom, I like that.
The smaller the community, the less drama there actually is. If it's a smaller community, it's easier for them to nip the problem in the bud before it ever starts. You can't just be the one that starts the drama in a small community, because you're going to get the boot. When you're talking about something like ball pythons and crested geckos, you're bound to build a following of fanboys. They're going to side with whatever you say, and it just leads to ongoing drama because that mob mentality just keeps feeding each other. The smaller communities in general get along. I mean, look at all the small geckos and stuff you keep. If you take them out of the general gecko community and put it down into a smaller genre, it's not much arguing.
I've got a lot of species. I always have to say, like, in my opinion, the crested gecko community is probably the most cutthroat. But the leopard geckos, when I first got into them, I mean, everybody was kind of willing to help you there. Cresties are the same, but I don't know, it's just got ridiculous there. The diversity-wise, like the samurai yachts and all the other stuff, like cat geckos, scorpion geckos, you don't run into too much of the drama there. Everybody's kind of like open-knit to working with each other.
People are held accountable for their mouths, You can't just escape something you said. You can't just drop a little ignorant bomb and walk away like, fight, guys, I'm out of here. It's going to follow you. Well, you said this. Now elaborate. And then you start a fight and a problem. Crested gecko stuff, you can just start a rumor and it just spreads down the pipeline. And by the time someone with some type of say or influence gets on the topic, really the person who started it has already been hidden by. It's just, I can't even articulate what I'm trying to say here, but it's, again, I really believe that smaller the community. Look at Bobby's point is probably gargoyles versus crested geckos. Naturally, there's less drama in the gargoyle community than there is in the crested gecko community, and to me, it's quite obvious as to why.
It's like if you go to shows, a lot like y'all was talking about earlier, everybody talks about how you only see crested geckos, leopards, and ball pythons at a majority of the shows. But that's what a majority of people are bringing to the shows, because that's what a majority of people are buying at the shows. Like, I bring diversity to all my shows, but the odds of the diversity going home with somebody is very slim compared to a crested gecko or a leopard gecko. They always are what everybody's picking out. So I feel like that's a lot of the reason that you get that. But down here, like in North Carolina, you don't got many of them coming down that's got a lot of the variety. You've got Repticon, Show Me, Ultimate, and Mid-Atlantic. And I'm sure there's a few more that I don't know of. But I know, like, out there on the west, I got a lot of super shows that go on out there, so you get a lot more than we get down here.
So Craigslist is like an offset expo in itself for ball pythons and crested geckos. You could start a whole collection for like 25 cents on Craigslist.
Yeah, you gotta prove them somehow.
Right. No, you can literally like get on there and be like, yeah, how much you want for everything? They'd be like $3.95. All right. $3. I can deliver.
The rack costs more.
What about the isopod community? How's that?
It's the same thing. It's really? Egos. I think it's fueled a lot by egos. I mean, being a female, there's a lot of males that try to talk down to you and stuff. Really? I've dealt with a lot of that, or they pick certain people that they want to push forward and not others. Like if we're at a show, people try talking to my husband. It's just the typical bullshit that will never end in the world, you know? And I'm like, he's like, it's her stuff. And then they talk to me, and it's like, I know what's going on. I know the names. I know the care. So, I mean, it's a hurdle.
No, I hear that a lot from, because I talk to a lot of the lady keepers, and they tell me that stuff a lot, and that's why I always make sure I shout you guys out all the time. Well, and that's another reason I'm doing this presentation on the history of the reptile trade. You know, some of the first herpetology museums were started by women, so like, you know, some of this stuff we wouldn't even right there in New England. The first herpetology museum was started by a woman. Like she curated the whole fucking shebang. Yeah. So, you know, like you gotta give respect. So
yeah, that's messed up, man. I hate that shit. I tell people all the time when they talk about this, you know, other than physical, you know, I've spent a lot of my life involved in like physical activities and stuff. Now, there's no denying that physically men are superior, right? Like I'm not trying to be sexist or misogynist by any means, but intellectually, I challenge any man to challenge these women in my family. I come from a family of excuse my language, bad bitches, lawyers, doctors, extremely accomplished women. Try them if you want to. I don't fuck with them. I'm 6'1", 230 pounds. I don't fuck with these broads. Try them. They're not playing. They're not taking your shit. They're not listening to you. They will out debate you. They are not playing. Now, when people get on these keyboards and start talking to women like you're something special, if you're a man and you're belittling a woman, I can probably tell you the type of man you are. Guaranteed, you're probably not talking to me like that. You know, it's messed up, man. It's I hate when I hear, especially women talk like that. Like, yeah,
it's crazy. Well, look, you see how they did Eddie. You see how they like that was crazy. Like, how do you invite somebody on your show 2 times, spend money with them, and then don't even go to him like a man and ask him if there's any validity to what's being said before you just post something about somebody that's not even.
Man, my wife was in the army for 8 years. My wife was in the army slinging bullets for 8 years, man. Crazy. Try her. You know, people do it on a keyboard, but it's
internet warriors.
Real, like
female.
Yeah, what's up, Nate?
Hey, am I in here? Is it working?
Done, man. That's what it was all about. They had to get the job, and if you could get the job done, I really didn't care who you were, as long as you got the job done. Man, some of the best medics I had, like your mom, Anthony, I wouldn't mess with you. Those were some bad bitches. For real.
I live with one, man. I don't play with my wife, you know.
Yep.
So,
what's going on with you, Nate, man? Yeah, I know you kind of coming up here late, but what's going on? How you doing?
Buddy.
Life is awesome, man. I hatched out my final baby of the year 2 days ago. It's a gargoyle.
Nice.
Coming there right at the cutoff. I actually am almost out of eggs, which is a good feeling because there's certain times in the summer where I'm just like, oh no, another clutch. You know, you're just like swimming in them.
Been there.
So, and then I sold a Sarah like tonight while I was chilling at like a dinner. So
that 10 spot one you had?
No, this one's like a patternless.
Nice.
I
like those, by the way.
Pretty cheap.
I've been thinking about dabbling in those patterns.
Hit me up.
So what?
I'll give you a deal.
Hey, Nate. What what got you excited for the upcoming year, man? Dude, what's going on in your life that that got you excited?
Yeah, I'm so stoked, man. This is such a big year. I bred like 9 new species, almost exclusively geckos.
Nice.
And so 2025, I'm really looking forward to hopefully breaking into more captive bred skinks.
Nice.
That would be huge. So pink tongue is on there, Australian tree skink, emerald tree skink, black tree skink. I got the zebras. I got the Gidgies. So if I can just have any success with skinks, then I'll be a super happy clan.
What do you say, Tristan? I couldn't hear you on that one.
Yeah, let me. You think you and I need to have a conversation for real, man? My little picnic jumped on that list for you.
Yeah, hit me up. Nice. Yeah, I'm stoked. So I'm super excited about that. And then just, it's been a journey, but I feel like I've really moved my collection into stuff that I really enjoy, and I've stopped working with animals that were just kind of a pain. So
Okay.
I just
Which
do
ones were
animal-
those?
Like I used to breed giant Asian shield mantises.
Oh shit.
Like Hybridula, Rhombodera, and I hated it. They would get to like sub-adult and they would mismolt and fall to the bottom. And as
Oh, shit.
babies, they need fruit flies, and you get fruit flies all over your house. And just not working with those has been a huge time saver and just like energy saver. So I'm stoked. Like if it doesn't bring you joy, don't bother. And so yeah, I'm just really stoked. Everything I'm working with, I'm like crazy jazzed about, and that's a great feeling.
Nice.
Good. Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, nice.
It's good. Great things happen when people have passion for what they're doing, man. Absolutely.
Heck yeah. That and the friendships. I think this is going to be the year I finally drag my butt to Tinley. Maybe Flora Fauna conference. So yeah, I think that'll be just
See you
a
there.
blast.
There you go.
Damn, I wish I could go to that Flora Fauna. That's just
You
it
can,
always-
man. Do it.
No, well, remember I work in a school district, so during that time, that's close to our school year ending, so we got a
Yeah.
whole lot of shit going on. So I can't.
Luckily for
leave
you,
in
it's
May.
on a Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, that means I gotta fly out.
Get a substitute.
Substitute. Yeah, if I was a teacher, I'm not a teacher. I got
Oh.
8 sites I supervise.
Thanks,
Okay.
son.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm always busy.
I thought you meant you were
Definitely,
teaching for the school district.
No. They
Can you imagine
contract
that?
my
I
company.
pledge allegiance to a gecko.
Right. Oh, you see nothing but geckos in that classroom, dude. For real, you see all kinds of shit. They'd be like, Jason, did you get permission from the principal? No. Sorry. This is what we doing. But no, I work for a nutrition company, so I oversee like 8 of the 24 sites at that school district. So I can't take time off like that. I have to take time off during the breaks, like I am right now, where I'm off for like 2 weeks.
Oh hell yeah! Fly out here, man. Get some cold weather.
Yeah, I told them, dude, it's 7 in the 70s still over here.
Yeah, we woke up. I mean, we're the South, right? Supposedly, but we woke up. It was 20 degrees this morning in North Carolina. It's absolutely miserable.
That's crazy.
Johnny knows.
Hey, Rain,
Yeah,
how much?
we're in the South.
What's your
Someone
temp right
was-
now, Rain?
It's cold
I,
right
now.
I won an auction on Morph Market, and the guy was like, "I can ship this week," and I was like, "You better not. You better not do
What'd
that."
you win?
It's,
What'd you win?
Really nice orange frappuccino.
Okay, nice.
I'm obsessed, man. The prices come way down on them, and so you can get a really just mind-blowing gecko for a couple $100.
Yeah. Those morphs have dropped off real fucking fast.
Anything cresty, man. Just give it 2 years, and it'll be a third of
Oh,
what
yeah,
you're looking
yeah.
at. But
So,
I'm excited.
actually, I do
Those
have
see ball
holding
pythons,
prices, man. Those Xanax don't seem to drop too much.
That's true. They're holding. Yep.
Yeah. So, Patty, with the morphs and isopods, right? So, how's that like when you guys start discovering stuff like that? Now, does those prices start going up, or do they kind of stay the same?
So if a new morph comes out, obviously it's sky high from the beginning, and then
Yeah.
enough of the big names get it, and then usually they're generous enough to start bringing it down. So like that's why I'm waiting on the cherry blossoms, because right now like a 6 count's about $350, and with it being Christmas, that would be a cool Christmas present for someone to buy me, but I'm not buying them just yet.
Oh man. So
Yeah,
where did
it's-
those
it's
come
avail-
from?
It's about
Oh.
availability. I somewhere in Asia. I mean, all the cool stuff comes from
Okay.
the Asian countries or Vietnam, basically.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Damn.
Some of those isopods are just insane. You know, through Wally's 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, the
Mhm.
Supreme Geckos, a lot of like isopod people donating.
Yep.
So looking for that waffles thing, I'm like all these websites, and I'm looking at all of these isopods, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I keep 30 species of like really basic isopods. I love Cubaris species, but I'm looking at some of these other things, and I couldn't get over the price of some of them, like 3-packs, like $180.
Yeah.
And there was some that were like
Right.
200-300, but those, I don't know what they were called, bumblebees or some type of bee or something. But they were like
hmm
red and yellow and
Yeah,
Yeah, like the
orange. and-
Scarlets, the Diablos. They're like
Holy
500. They're like $100
wow.
That's
each.
crazy.
But a
Like the
beautiful
ones with the
bug,
little
though.
spikes
Wow,
in them.
what a
Dude,
beautiful
I would
bug.
be
Or
watching-
crustacean.
that I'd be watching those bugs harder than I'd be watching my geckos. Like, you
Oh,
better
yeah.
eat every piece of shit in here. Like,
You
And
gonna earn your keep.
they're so fast. Like, you pick up the piece of wood, and one time one scurried up my arm, and I'm like, oh shit, this is an expensive bug. Nobody move. I don't want it falling on the floor. And it was like on my shoulder. I'm like trying to catch it. I'm like, please no. Didn't want to kill $100 bug.
Yeah, you
yeah,
be
no,
doing
that's
fertility.
crazy.
You be doing
crazy,
fertility
those
rituals
prices,
and
man.
everything.
Yeah, I'd be watching that thing like a hawk every day. Like, I need a guarantee on how long is this thing gonna live.
And you know, it's
Do you work
a
with any of those
gamble.
spiked ones?
It could be a
Do
gamble.
you work with any of those the spiky
Yeah, that's
ones?
the one I was
ones that
talking
like
about.
I have like pineapples.
that's-
I have a few, but I don't have like the super spiky. I tried getting the Thai spikies. I gambled with a 6 count, and they just start dropping like flies within days. So, and then nobody had them. So I'm like, all right, whatever. I've wasted thousands of dollars on species that never proved out to anything. So it's a sore subject.
Yeah, I saw, what is that, TC Insects? I saw some stuff on there,
Mm.
and I was like, man, because that's when I never paid attention to isopods. Like, I
Yeah.
knew people were selling them, and obviously there's money and everything. And then I started looking on Amazon, and I was like, dude, this motherfucker made $20,000 last month selling isopods.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I was like, why was I not doing this? And then my homie's like, yeah, bro, I've been
Right.
going to the Dollar Tree, like rebuying like Yardley soap and toothbrushes and toothpastes and like the wooden utensils. And he's like, and I repackage them and I
Yeah.
sell them on Amazon. He's like, I'm banking. And he was showing me his numbers. Like, he was like, I'm surprised you weren't the one who told me. I was like, I feel so stupid right now. But it was so late in the season. By the time I
Yeah.
started, I was like, I'm just going to have to wait. So now my roach colony is like just going, man, I never thought I'd have this many roaches, or I'd be breeding roaches for anything in my life. Like, I need other geckos in here to control this shit.
You got to give them to friends.
I always think about.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna start like discounting some of these things.
You ever think about like telling your dad what you spend your money on? That's how I was thinking about it. If I had to go to my dad and be like, dude, I spent $500 on like 4 potato bugs, he'd be like, son, that's what you're doing. Dad, what?
Yeah, that's the way when you. It sounds insane.
Yeah,
Son,
we don't
what did you
prices
spend
with
that
my mom.
$50? What'd you spend that $100 on at the reptile show? Oh, dirt.
Right. That's crazy.
It's special dirt, Dad. It's bioactive. You wouldn't understand.
Hey, what's up, Bobby? How you doing, man?
How's it going? I'm doing well.
What's up?
Just got done prepping all I need to for all the cooking I'm doing tomorrow. So.
Oh yeah, nice. What you making, man?
So we're basically doing a kind of a makeshift Italian meal. So my wife makes this awesome lasagna every year, and then I'm making a chicken Vesuvio. So.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's what I'm making tomorrow, lasagna.
There you go.
The bechamel sauce, though. Real Italian with the, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, you look like my brother. When you came on, I'm like, fuck, this dude looks like Carlos.
I got that face that just,
looks like,
looks
like my brother.
That's
So what do you got going on for 2025, Bobby? What are you excited about, man? What projects you got going on? What pairings you got? Tell us about some exciting news to come for everyone in 25.
All right, so I'm going to start with the non-gargoyle gecko stuff real quick. I just picked up a brand new species yesterday. So
Really?
I'm now in the Euromastics game.
Ooh.
Hey.
So,
which kind?
That's
Egyptian?
it,
yeah.
man.
So I was looking at the ornates because obviously they're gorgeous and they caught my eye. And there's a breeder just over the border of Wisconsin here. I'm 30, 40 minutes away from the border. And so I'm at an expo. I was kind of looking in. I'm like, hey, just tell me a little bit about these things, because I was thinking about getting either collared lizards, another bearded dragon. I want something diurnal because these geckos are great, but I want to watch it during the day and not just have to come in the middle of the night and ruin my sleep. So yeah, Euromastics kind of fit the bill, especially because then I don't have to go and buy crickets constantly that or start another dubia colony. And so I was talking to the breeder, and he actually recommended a new, that's not a new species, a similar species. I'm going to butcher the name. Is it Philbii or something like that? Anyway, it's a dark, like really dark blue on the outside and kind of looks like the ornates, but just they're a little bit smaller. He said they're a little bit easier to tame down. We'll see if he sold me a bill of goods, but I definitely got a female. So it's not going to have the super bright colors, but I'll be hunting this year for a male. Just see if I
Nice.
like them, raise them up, and then go for it. So probably not a huge
Very
project,
cool.
but something different. Got all my UVB lights back out. But yeah, as far as the gargoyle geckos, man, I've got some killer pairs. I got 6. You can see I've got the 6 enclosures right here. And so each one houses a 1.1 pair. I've got 3 stripe projects and 3, 2.5 blotch projects. So one's a mixed. But that one is my deep red with Eve, who's a striped deep red female, which if you've seen my Instagram, she's absolutely insane. Mixed with a brand new male this year, Mahe, who is almost as beautiful red, but he's from Renee King and just has some amazing lineage behind him. So really excited there. Just picked up another male blotch from Gargoyle Queen, ready to breed male from
nice.
Popona line. And that's going in with my girl Exuma, who's probably my most insane female blotch. So just more gargs, and then I've got some babies that are growing out that are just absolutely insane. So
Are you working with anything that you've produced yet? Or do you have anything paired up that you've made yourself?
I'm only in my second breeding season, so I didn't keep anything from the first season because I only produced about 12 geckos. I know it's funny. I have some people reach out like, "Oh, you've been doing this for years. You've been doing it, man. You know so much." I'm like, dude, I don't. I bring on the people that know way more than me. I'm still learning, contacting my sources. So, I've got the first gecko I'm actually going to hold back and keep long term is going to be one from this season. I'm really excited about that. But it didn't keep anything back from last season. Nothing really blew away the parents. So
nice.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I think it's really satisfying when you get to like have your own animal start laying eggs for you.
I tell people all the time, man, I'm going into the first season, my first season now of all of my crested geckos, but I've made them all. I'm finally at the point where I've made everything that I'm pairing up this coming season.
That's
That's like
exciting.
super rewarding, man. Super rewarding.
That knobtail you got, she's produced off the patternless that I produced. So that was one of those. And then I've done the same with leopards and cresties and
nice.
Pretty sweet.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some Yucatan box turtles. I got to find some males eventually. I hatched them out like 3 years ago now. So another 2 years, I got to find some boys to try to pair them up.
Oh man, I was just talking yesterday. I want box turtles so bad.
They're fun. If you raise them from egg, they're like puppies. Like if I put my tongs in there to feed them, they're on their hind legs. I'll have to like show you guys clips because no one's gonna believe me. But they start begging to the point they're like, and then they fall over. I'm like, you guys are crazy.
That's
But they're
awesome.
so personable if you train them right.
You ever think about getting the kids a turtle, Bobby? A turtle or a tortoise?
Yeah,
A
well,
tortoise,
actually,
rather?
funny you mentioned that. So, okay, I didn't actually. It was just bad timing, but get this. So I went to a really small elementary school, right? Like 12, probably about 20 kids total, right? And there's one class for every grade, right? And I remember my 4th grade teacher had. This is how I actually got exposed to reptiles. She had a few reptile pets, and one of them was a breeding pair of box turtles. 3-toed box turtles. I had no idea what they were at the time. That we just called them peanut butter and jelly. Okay, and I remember just them laying eggs. She didn't know what to do. She left them in the enclosure. They stomped on it. The entire class just cried. Like it was just traumatic, but cool. And we were waiting for the next ones to happen. Anyway, I moved on to 5th grade. Remembered them, but didn't think anything of it. Fast forward now, I am a school counselor in a high school, right? Still in the same area. And this small school no longer exists, right? It shut down probably 4 or 5 years before I went and became a counselor. But some of the kids that went to the same school I went to, that teacher had kept those turtles and retired when the school shut down and gifted it to a family that ended up being on my caseload that I had in high school. So I was just doing a little like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, we went to the same school. Who do you remember as teachers? somehow we got to the conversation and they're like, oh yeah, and we kept the class pets peanut butter and jelly. I'm like, no
That's awesome.
effing way, right?
That's
So I
cool.
have this family. I had 3 of their kids, and all 3 kids, you know, talked to me about it. They finally all age out of high school, and when the last one was there, she's like, you know, I'm going to school. No one's going to look after these things. They live forever. You want them. And I was this close to taking them. I was like, you know, we
Oh,
just had our first baby, so it just was bad timing. But how cool would that be if I had my
Yeah.
4th grade turtle pets? You
that's
know?
Very
awesome.
cool.
That's a great
So,
story.
yeah.
Yeah, like my
So
daughter was raised with them since day one because I've been keeping box turtles and tortoises since I was like 18. So they've been here for about 20 years, and I have pictures of her in diapers, like petting the Russian tortoises. So I
that's
mean,
awesome.
she wound up liking dogs. We don't own any dogs, but she appreciates them. So I know one day she's gonna take care of them at least when I'm
That's
gone.
awesome.
Yeah, because people,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
when we say that some of this stuff lives a really long time, like it's one
Hmm.
thing to say 20 years, it's one thing to say 30 years, but hell, I'm not even 40 yet, right? And so like I'm only that old. So you know, these things, they're a big commitment a
You
lot
have
of
to
the
How
have
long
time.
do
plans.
box
Yeah.
turtles actually live? Or box turtles, do they live as long as like big tortoises, sulcatas, and whatnot?
I mean, in captivity, probably like 40, 50 years.
Really,
Definitely
that
in the
long
wild
still?
longer. I mean, like we've
Wow.
gotten all the homeless rescues always wind up here. I'm like the hub. So we have some like you could tell when they're older when they're more faded and their shells don't have like the line where the spine is or anything on the carapace. You could
Yeah.
tell. So some of the ones I've had, they probably honestly were about 70 years old. The stories they could tell if they could talk. You know.
That's amazing.
Hmm.
Wow.
I think how much the care information has changed in that time,
Oh my God, you have no
right?
idea. Yeah. I mean, when I
They
started,
survived a lot.
there was no forums. I had them on like sand. You didn't know shit back in the day, and now you
Nope.
learn about a proper humidity and UVB. Somebody once was like feeding this box turtle nothing but cheese. I got it. It looked like a parrot. It was so sad. We had to get the whole beak reconstructed, and it's wild.
So
Yeah.
no, it's really cool. And then Anthony, you'll like this. I got my Chihuahua, my very first one.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Game changer. How you liking it, dude?
Oh, I'm loving this thing. Here, let me pull it out real quick.
They're cool, right?
So cool.
They're just
Look at the
different. He's
collar and
beautiful too. I know. Gorgeous.
So
Gorgeous.
that's
That
this one's
lateral
looking
white.
female.
Is it?
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, this
Good.
one is looking female. You know, it's still
Good.
young, so that could change. But what I'm thinking is, if I'm gonna get a male for it eventually, I really want to emphasize that those lines.
The
on the back.
lats. Yeah.
Yeah, just the dorsal stripes. I think that could be a cool, fun project.
Absolutely.
Do something different rather than just go for high white. Just have a specific. I don't know if it leads anywhere or not, but that's the
Absolutely.
fun part.
That's fun. Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
They're
So with
amazing
those
animals.
box turtles, are those are they protein hungry or are they just kind of grazers like some of the other stuff?
The box turtles are huge on protein, so they regularly get
Yeah.
their plain cooked chicken, and they get their crickets, they get their isopods because all of them are bioactive here. Because why not? It's like an extra colony. So if I ever run out, I got
Yeah.
backup. And I mean, basically just like a lot of worms sometimes. Like in winter, I feed them more berries and stuff, but they're definitely protein hungry.
Nice.
Tortoises, no.
Yeah. So if I've ever got a turtle, it'll be something like that because I like feeding. Well, I'm always down with the more of the predatory aspect of these animals. That's why I like them. I like to see them hunt for their food. So that's why I keep a lot of the stuff I keep, just because I want to see that behavior. So
Yeah.
a turtle like that would be right up my alley.
Oh yeah, like we had cicada season here this past spring and summer, and when they were just like the nymphs that was bringing them in, and they were just going nuts eating them. So they had a lot of fun with the cicadas, and then I felt bad.
Yo, Matt, what's going on, man? You've been quiet, dude.
I Packer game on. So
Oh, the Packer game's on?
here right now. Yeah, they're on Monday night. Yeah, they're on Monday night.
Oh shit, my bad. I didn't even know that.
No, you're no, it's all good. But no, I actually I'm sitting right now. I'm sitting next to my Celebrosis. I don't know. yet, though. I think they're still all kind of just waking up right now, but they should be out here in the next hour or so. They tend to, usually after lights go off, within an hour and a half.
Okay.
You look like that elf in the mall that like walks you up to sit on Santa's lap and take a picture.
Is there anybody that keeps Ibanawi's in here besides myself?
We all me, Jay.
Well, I mean, as far as, but you guys haven't bred yet. I was going to ask them some questions. Well, who's just me? Okay, now I'm just trying to figure out because I've got the information.
I had Australian leaf bred.
Yeah, I'm getting some different results than what has been documented, and then I've talked to a few other people, and they're saying like some different things. So I'm just trying to put some stuff together. I mean, I've just had this large amount of clutches. I mean, I'm not complaining, but everyone else is like, nah, I'm not having. Like, I swear, I have a female she's got to be laying 2 clutches at a time. Like, she has to be. Like, there's no way that I found 3 clutches from 2 females in 5 days. You know what I mean? So one of those females had to double. And I think I told you, I've collected. So since August, I've collected 11 clutches. And 11 of the eggs have been good. And so I've hatched 3. And then the one, because the days, obviously the days are not always conducive when they lay them to when you find them to when you date them. So I had that first male hatch on day 66 from when I found it, and then it suffocated because I thought I had like 9 more days. I wasn't expecting, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't expecting anything for like at least another week. So I had just checked them the night before. So, and I've hit purples every single time. Everything that has hatched out has been purple. And I've been looking at everyone else's pages, and I even talked to my breeder. He's like, bro, I haven't even hit that. And I was like, well, I'm working with line bred animals that I got from you and that other guy. I was like, so I don't know, but
that's the answer right there. When you work with line bred, you're always going to get better results.
And so he's like, I'm not even getting that size, like the clutches. I'm not even having that. He's like, I have a lot, but he's like, not from just like.
Not for nothing, bro. My boy breeds Satanics. My boy Justin breeds Satanics, and he's absolutely had his female double clutch. Now, when he was telling me, I thought that it was like, I was like, are you sure you didn't miss him? Like, he's like, there's no way. I'm telling you, she had 2 clutches.
I believe it because I've had it happen. I've just seen too many clutches for the amount of females and the amount of time that I've had the animals.
Interesting you say that.
And I do red runners here. I don't dust very often at all, maybe once a month. And the calcium that I have, like I make it here myself, and I only use it once a month. But I gut load a lot. Plus, like I talked about that in my care video for things like I really think we just overload the calcium because a lot of our, every state's water is different. But I know where I am, the water has a lot of calcium in it. Like for a fact. Plus, if you're dusting, and then depending on how you're feeding, like it's a lot. But like I just don't like those bulges. But I've never had any issues like with getting eggs. Like even in the past when I had my Fantasticus, like and breeding them, doing the same thing. And I give this powder to my dog. It's the same thing. Like it's just calcium that I make here. But so I'm like, I don't know if it's that. I've never worked with this species before, but everyone else is like, I'm not getting that many clutches.
You crushing oyster shells? You crushing up eggshells? How are you making your calcium?
So what I'll do is I'll either take eggshells and I'll just blend them as fine as I can get them, and then I'll press them out in a mortar, or I'll take vinegar and I'll put the eggshells in the vinegar, and then I'll take out the top, and then I'll let that dry out. And I'll just, because I go through a lot of eggs, because like I bake all the time, like I'm constantly going through eggshells. So I'm like, dude, might as well just start using this shit. So yeah, I've got bags of it, containers of it, just so much of it. Like it's like I don't, I'm not gonna buy it. Like if I need if I want to add like vitamins to it, I just order the vitamins, and then I just crush them up, and I weigh everything out, and then I put it, and everything has been fine. So I don't know if it's got something to do with that. And then I know they're prolific, but even then, like I know that female has given me extra clutches. I know there's no way.
Always come in. What you do? I'm making calcium. Leave me alone.
Right. It's not what it looks like.
Right?
So, yeah, I
What's
just
that
was
white
wondering
stuff?
if anyone else had any experience with this species. So
Hey, Bobby.
they're neat though. They're neat though. They're neat. Like I was really surprised to see the animals that I did, because like none of the people that I got these, they're like, we don't have anything like that. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to try to, you guys got pictures of shit like before. I need to try to go back as far as I can, because I'm a genetics freak. So if I can try to pinpoint where that stuff comes from, so I can try to know how to make a program around it, would be great. So we'll see. I got 8.
If it's kind of like a maternal line, you know how like some women and their children, the girls, they'll have twins more often. Maybe they're just dropping more eggs.
It could be.
That'd be sweet if you got a line that's more prolific.
Yeah, that definitely be some crazy shit. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Because by the time these other eggs hatch, I mean they'll be laying again. By the time these guys get done hatching, I got 8 eggs left, and they've got like 45 days, and then it's like another 30 days. Every 30 days after that, it's just crazy how many eggs I've seen from a trio.
All right, well, guys, I gotta go. I appreciate you having me. It was a pleasure.
Oh yeah,
Had a good
appreciate it.
time.
Thanks for coming on.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Hopefully, I'll see some of you soon.
All right, happy
Have
holidays.
a good one.
Take care.
All right.
Take care.
But yeah, Bobby, I had talked to you briefly when you guys were at the show. You were in with one of your buddies. Europlastis.
Yeah, Nelson.
I forget, but did he have that? He up there.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit with this echo.
So at the NARBC Schaumburg show,
yeah,
you were there attending, and we had chatted a little bit. Your buddy was, he had a species of Europlastis. Do you remember what species he was selling her?
Yeah. That was Nelson at NGC. He has the Ebanawi as well. So.
Oh, they were.
Yeah, they were Ebanawi. So. Yeah, he almost had me buy one. They were cool, and when they were fired up in the right way, the colors were just.
No, they're nice, man. They're nice.
That's where mine's from. Mine's from Nelson.
Yeah,
Same here.
He was telling me how prolific
nice.
they were.
Yeah, the more people work with them, and then the more cross pollination and patterns and stuff. Because like I said, I definitely was not expecting. Like when I hatched, I was like, fuck, like dude, this can't be real. Like, and then she turned on like the shimmer. Like 6 hours later, I come in, and then the shimmer, it was like the Predator suit. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, this is crazy, because I don't have any animals that have like I have one girl that I call Scream, because they're all named after the suits, the anti-venom, all the symbiotes. And so I have this one chick, its name is Scream, and then the other one is Agony. And I'm like, dude, you had to have come from her. There's no way that you came from this female. Like it's weird. I don't know. I gotta get a better camera. I'm so cheap about shit. Like I'm still on an iPhone 8. And like this old ass MacBook, but like as long as it works, dude, I'm like an African. I don't know, is that racist if I say that? Like, I don't know, all my African friends, like they don't like spending money. Like that shit'll be falling apart. Like they do not want to buy a new, like, dude, buy a phone, bro. Like my homie from Ghana, he's like, nah, bro, I'm good. I'm like, no, you're not good.
Seriously, no, you know what that is? That's a super rich man's trait. Like I've got,
but that's the thing.
Screw you money. That's the kind of thing that they do. Like they got a truck, they've got millions of dollars. They could go and buy a brand new,
dude, that's exactly how he is. Like, oh my God, like people, I could go buy a fleet of iPhones if I wanted.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to give someone credit.
Well, fellas, I got to run and do some geckos because they ain't going to do themselves.
All right.
For sure. We're about to cut out to the end here in a minute.
Brother. Thank you.
All right, man. Happy holidays, Johnny.
Y'all too, buddy. Later.
Merry Christmas, man.
All right.
Peace out.
Peace.
All right. So I know we coming up at the end. I know I'm hungry as hell.
I know I'm high and I'm hungry too. I'm coming over to Bobby's. He's making lasagna.
For real, right? We're all invited, right?
It's like 20 pounds. It's insane.
Oh,
Perfect.
man, yeah.
Yep.
Well, definitely. Yo, everybody, it was definitely a pleasure just to see all these different people on. We had someone, an isopod person. No, we got Crested Gecko, Chahua. We have Gargoyle, Matt with Salamanders, Aussies, everything. My homie Rain with the Hots. In the year of Playlist. It's just good to see everybody come together just for a little holiday show, enjoy each other, have some fun, bullshit for a little bit, and then we get back to the regular life.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Go check out my new podcast. It just dropped like an hour ago, I think.
For sure.
I don't know. Yeah, the reptile. I don't know if you guys watch Reptiles in Research or Research in Reptiles. I always
on the Animals
but
at Home.
I just did a thing with them a couple of days ago. I think he just sent me the link, so it might already be up. It's pretty interesting. We're talking pretty interesting. So
announcements? No. You guys just all have a fantastic Christmas, happy holidays kind of thing. I'll be doing stuff next year. Palm Street was a lot of fun this year. Sold out of everything in my collection that I was willing to sell. So thank you guys, anybody who's supported me this year, either buying an animal, watching a show, being on a podcast, being invited onto an awesome podcast. So thank you guys so much.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Have a good holiday, man. You and your family, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yes, you too. All of you guys.
All right, have a good one.
All right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Later.
All right. Matt, you got closing words?
No, just happy holiday. Eat a lot. Fun. Enjoy your family.
Yep.
And go
just to let y'all know, we won't have a live this Sunday. No, we're gonna take a little bit off, and we can get back at it in January. All right.
Sir.
All right,
everybody. Have a good night.
Have a great holiday, everybody.
Appreciate it. See y'all later. Have a good one.
Later.
Enjoy your family, man.
Oh, all right. We are done. Cool.
Does it end it?
Yep, it's off.